Okay, welcome to Prima Art Venture Day 6, Class 7. We have Anna's beautiful class happening right now. And welcome Anna Finnabair. She is going to show us
Hello.
prep.
So for that class, we don't really need a lot. I suggested to bring a book, and the book is, of course, an optional thing. You don't have to use a book. You may use a keyboard panel, you may use canvas, you may use box, any surface that you want to. Books are nice because you can turn them into like conversation starters at home, sometimes putting them on the shelf, turning them into journals, or just using them for your own pleasure as a display. That's one of the things. I usually turn them into journals later. But if you don't have a book or you don't want a book, because there's no obligation, you can use any other surface. And then I suggested some paper scraps, and paper scraps may be just different sizes of leftover scrapbooking papers or any cardboard and a sticker paper. So it's going to give us some texture. As you can see here, I use a tag. And if you have any tapes, maybe washi tape, maybe fabric tape, these are the things we are going to use in the first steps. So basically, this is the whole starting point. Not too much. It may be anything that you have on hand. And if you don't have these little scraps, it's not going to be a big problem anyway. When it comes to the size, because I can see some questions, it's going to be better to come closer to the sizes that I have here. If it's a canvas, you can double the size because, we have more space this way. So if it's a 5 by 7 inches book, so that is going to be 10 by 7 canvas, right? So you'll be able to do this kind of composition as well. And of course, it is mostly limited with the amount of embellishments we have ready here. So if you have a bigger surface, you will just have to group them a little bit more in one place and then have more of the white space around it. So basically any combination will work. And don't worry, we are going to do everything step by step. So I will give you a second to grab whatever you need to grab. Remember to stay hydrated, take your coffee, tea, water, whatever you drink, and then we are going to start in just a moment. Have you got any questions for the beginning?
I'm so excited, you guys. This is going to be fun. Now, when I talk, does it switch to me or does it stay on Anna? I'm hoping it stays on Anna.
It looks like it is. It's okay.
So it's working today, because if I don't have my video up, I can't tell when I'm muted. And yesterday I was unmuted for part of it. Oh, perfect. It's working today. Yay.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, there's like one important thing for people who are going to work on the books in the future. And usually when you use the book, the cover may be temperamental, which means they may behave in an unexpected way. Old books sometimes have the fabric covering or some kind of finish that may look like it is matte, but in fact it is waxed. And I just learned that from experience. I didn't expect this fabric they used in the past. It was covered by some kind of wax. So if you are planning to put some products directly on the cover, for example, some people like to use crackle. Always remember, this is going to resist, okay? So before anything else, when you're working on the books and you are not sticking things with the glue, but you're planning to put some textures, you're planning to put some special effect paste, remember, start with primer before, okay? This is really important. It may be any kind of gesso, it may be any kind of clear gesso you have, but it's just safer because I know from experience accidents happen. So now I would just suggest that if you use the surface, which is not a keyboard, for example, you would give a one coat of the black gesso on the top, but very thin and very quick, right? Because this is going to keep your surface matte, and it will be much easier to work on it. And I do it intentionally now with you because I need to mention that. People usually think, oh, that feels matte. And then they discover there's some kind of mysterious ingredient in it. And then the crackle will chip off, or some kind of other surprise will happen. And they may feel disappointed because they will have to reverse some part of the creation. And of course, it is like feeling like lost time. It's not lost time, it's just learning from experience, but that is what is important. And another tip, when you work on the book and you would like to keep the surface more or less clean, you can put paper towels under your front covers and the back covers while painting. And this is going to keep your surface a little bit cleaner. And of course, we have the whole tube of the black gesso, so I use that. We have also tube of the white gesso from yesterday, but I know some of you used quite a lot, so save it for one of the next steps. We have plenty of black gesso. We can use it for preparation of the surface. One quick coat is going to be enough. Which of the mechanicals are we using? Whatever you have left from yesterday. So we are going to use up everything we have from yesterday. Nothing to save. If you were not doing the class yesterday, I will show you what I have left in my basket in a moment, okay? And that is enough. It doesn't have to be even completely, fully, perfectly covered. It's just to make sure no surprises will happen. Remember to put brush in the water, dry it with the heat gun until the gesso turns matte. Are you all right? Everything is fine so far? I really wanted to pick the book that is going to be completely without any decoration. But the problem is now I have hard time getting these books because I can't go shopping anywhere. Everything is closed in Ireland. We have only essential shops open so far. So I had to pick the one which is really pretty. And I hope you will forgive me, but there is some kind of embossing on it already. This is vintage book and it's in Irish language. So there will be some textures on mine that you may not have on yours, but 90% of that is going to be hidden under the paper and embellishments and textures anyway. So don't worry about that. Feels right. I was looking for a book that would be completely flat, but I used all of them in the last days and I have no way to restock. The flea markets are closed, so I will just show you what kind of books we are using. There is beautiful Celtic cross on the top. And then I have no idea how to read that because this is in Irish language, which is very different to English. But the book is from 1908. And what is great about this book, it is not even properly cut. So I guess nobody was reading that anyway. Look, I had this is like never used by anyone. Interesting. But the font is beautiful. Mm-hmm. It looks like a novel, so I think it's a novel. But I'm just guessing. It may be anything. Oh, you have 1921 book of etiquette. Oh, that is cool. I have one book, which is like kind of almanac, and it says Inquire Within in the title. And I think these are like questions and answers for all the questions you may have in your life. And they are amazing. Some of these answers are just like, wow. So that is amazing book to work with as well. But I didn't want to use it because the cover is quite pretty. This was plain green, as you could see. So it's okay. I usually try to use very plain books for this kind of project, so I can just make them into something else. Now, I will get ready for the next step. So I will take my paper scraps and the tapes. This feels dry. And now we need adhesive. And remember what I was telling you yesterday, I try to show on the screen these mediums that we are using at this point, okay? So you have soft gloss gel in your kit. This is liquid gel medium. And some of you yesterday, one person I remember mentioned you don't have it, so you can replace it with any other adhesive for paper you use in your mixed media. Catherine Cookson novel. Oh, sometimes in those classes when I teach and then we have books to alter, some of these books are really interesting ones.
Mindy asked if you should gesso the edges of the cover.
No, not really. I just go on the top. The edges are going to get colored later. This is now to avoid the problem with the potential varnish or the waxing or whatever it may be on the book. You will see those ones with the glossy varnish, the modern ones, it's going to be hard to paint them because this varnish is going to resist like crazy. So one good advice, if you work with the modern book, you may want to sand it down before with the sanding paper and then put a gesso. Because I've seen some of these varnishes were absolutely out of control. I've seen a lot of different books. Okay, I will take my palette. You know my palettes already, they are very colorful. And I'm going to do a little bit of the textures on the front cover and the back cover using the paper scraps, just to make that effects that you can see here, a bit of textures, layers, tapes, whatever you have on hand will be useful. And there is no certain style, but I will show you how I do it so it will be easier for you. I try to prepare the space for beginning of the composition. So like a couple of lines which are going to be focusing your attention in the place you should be layering your elements a little bit later. I have cute little tags. Maybe I will use one of them as well. So what I usually do when I start compositions like that, I will take scissors and I will take scraps of paper. Soft matte gel works the same as soft gloss gel, right? Yes, works exactly the same. And I will cut my paper into smaller bits and pieces because these are really long, really big pieces of paper. So it's hard to make any composition out of that. Kind of, you know, making them shorter. I squeeze the soft gel on my palette, so I will have easy access to it. If you use the one in the jar, it's even easier. I hope you can see it. Yes, it's in the screen. And now I will try to imagine that the composition is going to be more or less in the center. So I will start with some lines going up and down, and then maybe a little bit to the side. And then I can add an element that is going to be more solid. And you can repeat similar composition on the back. It's almost like starting scrapbook page. For some people, if you do the scrapbook pages, you can imagine that this is like the beginning of it, but you have like two layouts next to each other instead of one big layout. I would say, okay, we go this way. and this way, just to have some lines, almost like a cross. So the attention is going to focus in the middle of this all. I'm just going to show you an example before I will stick it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. It's just some interesting edges to see later while we'll be doing the touches with the waxes. For example, something like this, right? And you can include your tapes in it as well. I will do it in a moment, right? This is one of the layers you can put. Okay, so let's start. I will start in the back. And again, good advice, check that your book is in the right position before you're going to embellish it, because sometimes by accident, you put the book upside down and then you will have the pretty stuff on the back of the book, okay? So check it, just good advice. I just tell you because it happened to me. Right, so now, I will start maybe with the strip of masking tape. And you know, thinking is overrated in this process. It's better to just go freely and just let it go and let it happen. You can use washi tape instead, of course. I will try to use a little bit of fabric tape as well. See, it is not just me, it does happen. Check if your book is not upside down. It happens, I know, especially when you were so much in the process, you want to start, you are so into it, and boom. Yeah, I know. Maybe one more going down. This is going to create some really nice textures for especially the flat books without any decoration to look at once we will have our effects on it. And now I will take a brush, take soft gel, and I will stick some of these paper scraps. And I also put the paper, you know, the glue on the paper and under the paper. So I use it also as a sealer. I'm not really super precise, but I like to have the paper straight. I don't go into diagonal positions. I think it looks more organized with the dimensional composition we are going to do next. And let your hands just do the job, switch off your brain and play with the paper, surrender to the paper. That is the good advice for this step. So you can see all the excess, I'm just varnishing the paper with it. And if you feel there's some paper, you know, bubbles in the paper, you can use your finger to press out the air. But remember, the paper will expand when sweat, and then it's going to get smaller when it's going to dry. So you don't have to worry that something is not perfect. Could you use pop cycle sticks or similar? Yeah, whatever sticks. It's going to be just a little bit more dimensional, and that's it. Okay, the back looks good and finished. I have a lot of cool layers. So now I can do the same thing on my front cover. Again, surrender to the paper, let your hands do it. Don't think too much, lines going in the way that is going to focus the attention in the middle. So we can start with a bit of masking tape again. Are you okay so far? I just check. I just want to make sure.
Anna?
Yes.
Think
Way
they would
fast.
like to see your process a little bit more.
Yeah.
The way that you're thinking about putting these pieces together, because you're such a natural at it.
The problem is I'm trying to give you the information that I don't think. So what happens? It's like going diagonally and horizontally. Vertically and horizontally, like weaving a basket, one way, other way, one way. You don't, and listen, guys, you don't have to keep up with me. I will stop after this step and you will have the time to catch up. I have to be one step ahead so I can explain what you need to do and to give you more advice, right? It's not like we can do it, at the same moment. I have to go a little bit faster and then you can see the final result and then you do, okay? Because I think you are trying to catch up too quickly. Please relax and look. Again, we have some lines going up and down, yeah? And then some lines are going to go to the sides. So horizontally, vertically, but kind of meeting in one spot in the middle, not everywhere close to the edges. They're kind of concentrated closer to the middle, right? If you look at this one on the back, it's like a lines, like a basket of basket weaving, but the center is here, right? And the same happens at the front. Yeah, I am fast, really, but look, otherwise you are going to wait for me, and this is not a good thing.
No, Anna, I think you really explained it very well right there. Plus, the thing is, this is getting covered up by a whole bunch of embellishments.
Oh, yeah.
So you are designing literally like a piece of background paper. Don't fret at all. And
look, just go long lines and then shorter ones, one on the top of another, and you're going to see this is meaningless. This is the moment when usually people freak out in the classroom because they think it's important. And I'm trying to tell them, no, you're going to see 10% of it. And the truth is, it's just a great exercise to loosen up a little bit in the beginning as well, when you just go different ways and you try to switch off thinking and surrender to the process, because you can't really control everything in mixed media project. Like yesterday, the paint, if you were doing the clock, no matter what you did, the paint wanted to go kind of way, right ways, left, up and down, and you had to accept this moment of decision that paint made for you. And here's a similar thing. The paper wants to go in a certain way, in layers, in a basket, and you should just take a deep breath and stop worrying. So I will show you the finished one, and then you will have a moment to finish yours. I'm not going to run quickly. We are not in a hurry. Like, my job is to show you the finished things so you can have a reference image. Right?
exactly. I think they'll start to understand as you build this. And the main thing to understand is this is literally getting covered up by paint. It doesn't matter what the pattern is that you're looking at. It's just some texture.
Can you see it here? That's the question.
Yes, that's perfect. That helps us. It's creating those kind of graphical lines.
Exactly. Interesting edges and lines. And it's really the most important when you have very plain cover and you would like to add something extra to it. And I will explain it more when we start to do the next layer, because I have some lines by accident on my book today, but I had no other book on hand left. But most of the times they're very plain, flat surfaces. So it's nice to break it with something before we are going to go to more serious jobs, right?
Right.
So, and also you have to do something with these leftovers you have on your table finally. So this is the great way of just using them for something and making more space on your table for the future projects. Like, we don't throw away paper. Like, this is not happening when you craft. We just keep it because it may be useful. And then this never happens. So this is the chance. This is your chance to use your leftover scraps.
Basically, you're doing a nice big decoupage collage right in the center of your canvas.
And now look, this is finished. For me, it's enough. I will fold it here and you can see, look how carelessly I applied the glue, right? It doesn't have to be clean. You can see the glue all over it. You can see the lines going up and down, horizontal, vertical. These little lines, the edges of the paper or the tape, this is the only thing you're going to see later, right? So you don't need to do any beautiful special way. I would just focus on one thing. Do it in the middle of the composition, in the middle of the cover or the canvas, instead close to the edges. You don't want to create corners. You want to create like one cluster in the middle. Soft gloss gel, exactly. Or if you don't have soft gloss gel, any other paper adhesive. Oops, Mindy said. Mindy, do you have it in the corner? Because if yes, I will give you a little bit different instruction. Don't be shy, tell me. A touch. So if you have it in the corner, remember now the whole composition will have to also be in the corner, okay? Try to shift your future textures and embellishments in the corner. So you're going to, in fact, build on the top what you were gluing down now, instead of trying to copy what I will do on the top of mine just because it's in the middle, okay? So you created your own middle in the different place. And if you have two corners done, for example, you will have to make a bigger composition in the one corner, usually on the bottom, and then tiny, tiny bits on the opposite one for the good balance. Okay, you know what I'm trying to explain? You need to do it on both sides. You mean both front and the back of the book? Yes, the corner. No, you can do the corners on one part of the cover and the other one you can do the middle. It's up to you. You know, when you hold the book, you see this or this. You very rarely look at this way. If I did corner with a stencil, yeah, that works really well. If you did the corner with a stencil and paste paper in the center, yeah, that is going to be okay. Remember, we try to focus the attention on the one point in the composition. We don't need to use the whole space, right? This is one of the things that happens in mixed media. People have the surface and they think they have to cover the whole surface with something. And this is not true. You don't have to cover everything. You need to decide if you are going for the very rich look, or maybe you want to leave a little bit of the empty spaces. And this is an example where I left a lot of empty spaces. Right? So generally, what we need to have after this step, it's like two front and the back of the book with kind of paper composition on it, paper and tape, paper and paper. And if you feel this is extremely wet, you can now give it a moment of drying with the heat gun. So it's going to be easier for you to work on the next steps. True. Anyway, it doesn't have to be super dry. It's just like, you know, when you are not sticking to it, it's okay. When do we use the chipboard? In a moment. I'm getting ready, but I want to make sure everybody is on the same page. So you have your paper composition done. And now we can take our black gesso again. We're going to use it a little bit differently now. Where's this black gesso?
So Judy, so when do you know to use black gesso or white gesso?
We're going to use black gesso first, and then we are going to use a little bit of white gesso. So now we focus on the black. Okay. We are doing black gesso now, white gesso later. And I lost my black gesso on my table. Yeah. You have paper beads. Oh, that's interesting. How it's possible? And we were going to get ready for the next step with the chipboard and the black gesso. You will also need a palette knife. How are you doing with the composition? Are you ready? No, not yet. Okay.
They have a set of palette knives, Anna.
Oh,
Can you
that's
show
even
us-
better.
Can you show us which palette knife you're going to use just so they can pull one that's similar?
Sorry. Any.
Okay.
Any.
Yeah, perfect. They have a set of 5. So I figured.
They can use any, even a card is going to work, because this is not a special technique for using certain kind of palette knife. No,
Perfect.
it doesn't have to be completely dry. No, no, no. It's just to spread it. You can spread it with anything. I use silicone brushes because I really like them. But you can use this kind of palette knife when it's going to help you spread. Okay.
Perfect.
Yep. It
If you
doesn't
are
have
not
to be
completely dry, don't worry, because Anna's
No.
going to move ahead so we can finish the class, and you can just keep working alongside, and you will have the recording to watch back as well.
And don't worry at all, because really it doesn't have to be completely dry. Doesn't matter if I have corners or parts not completely adhered. No, we are going to stick it anyway later. I'm trying to remove the keyboards of the whatever that is, 3D foams. This is a strange idea for packaging them, but it's okay. And we're going to use them in 2 ways. So stay with me, don't stick them yet. Please, don't stick them yet. I know some people are very eager to glue things down, but don't. Ta-da-da. These little foams are naughty. Okay.
I love it that you use the word naughty.
Is it a strange word?
I just don't, it's got a different connotation in the English language. I think.
Well, I don't think exactly. Come on. Naughty means like, you know, in a sexual way, of course, but it's also naughty. If you talk to children, say, don't be naughty.
Yes, yes, yes.
You were just having dirty, you know.
No, you're
thoughts.
so cute. No, Anna, you're so cute. You're so cute. I can't take it. All right. On with our naughty chipboard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of annoying when the things are not coming off the way you expected, or some things are happening. Like, oh, yeah. It's very British expression. I can't help it. You know, the thing is, I've learned English from so many different sources that I keep mixing up different expressions depending where you're from. You may think it is just strange or not, or just not the right word to describe it, but somebody somewhere in the world will use exactly that expression because I had to pick up from somebody. So it's funny. I had a lot of moments when I was wondering which is the right word to describe the simple object, because I knew like 3 different versions of it, and it was like word a jug. We were looking for the container with the handle and the little beak, right, to pour the water. And
a pitcher.
In British English, it's jug.
Oh.
Jug. Yeah, and in American English, when the people in the hotel gave me this blank stare, and I was like, no, this is not working. Yeah. So I started to describe the object, and there's a pitcher. It was the first time I heard the word. Like, yes, the pitcher. But yeah, UK is a jug, and that's why it's kind of interesting. And then I'm in Ireland, and here some words are also different, and I had to learn a lot of different words. And then I get to, when especially when I'm excited or I'm trying to talk faster, I will have this moment like, which word is for that part of the world I'm in? Like the word trash, garbage, dust, like that dustbin, garbage bin, trash bin. They're all trash can as well. They're all describing the same object, but they're confusing people. And this is it is like funny.
You're not supposed to use the word fanny in Australia. It means something different.
Funny, yeah. Well, funny is kind of a naughty word in British English. I'm just saying.
Is it? It's naughty in Australia too, right? Like it means.
Probably because Australian English is a little bit closer with the meanings to British, I think.
Yeah.
Funny is basically female parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is not so great.
But not here.
I know it's not. You have something that you called funny pack, which is absolutely hilarious, I think.
Yes, and a fanny is actually your butt.
Yeah, and that makes no sense. Because I know this word is absolutely different. Like, yes, kind of that area, but more in the front.
Yeah. So funny. Carrie Ann said in Norway we have over 20 words.
Yeah. Yeah, because they have a lot of snow. They need to know which one is there one day and then which one is another. It's very important. Funny pack is it's so funny to use it in English. Yeah. Funny pack sounds like, excuse me, like what? So yeah, that is, yeah, so you have to forgive me because sometimes I will just mix up. And remember, this is not my first language. It may be really funny when I try to pronounce the words and then I can't really get it because English is not logical when it comes to pronunciation at all. Well, I'm just saying.
Continue.
Let's continue. Guys, I told you not to stick the keyboards because I want you to play 20 words for straw in Spanish. Wow. Look, this texture you can see in the empty parts of the composition. Also here and here, you can make using your chipboard, okay? So instead of using stencils, these are really good quality thick chipboards. You can press them into paste or into gesso to get really cool like embossing effects. So that's why I told you, don't stick anything. We are going to play now spreading, for example, black gesso, and then pressing the chipboards in it before sticking down the elements in the final positions. Just before that, my final position for the big chipboard is going to be on the front. And if you can see, I flipped it because it was like this, right? No, it's going to be okay, like this. I want that to have like a nice crescent, you know, a bow, shape of a bow. Crescent. Almost like croissant, but not the same. Crescent. And the leftovers, you can arrange on the back side of your book, or if you have a canvas in other parts as a counterbalance, okay? If you have some leftovers, you can also arrange them as a missing parts of that composition, but we are going to arrange the embellishments here, so don't go too crazy, okay? So this is my plan. I'm going to use the small bits on the back and the big one on the front. But before, you take something that has texture, something that is creamy. It may be thick paint, it may be modeling paste, it may be heavy gesso, and you can use it to create effects, just pressing that in. But originally, my idea was to use the modeling paste, but looking at the amount we have in the tube, I would save it for gluing. Gesso is going to do exactly the same job because it's thick gesso. So now you're going to play a little bit like a pastry maker or the cake decorator, and you're going to spread your gesso like icing with a thicker coat in selected parts of your cover, right? That's why you need your palette knife. Imagine you are spreading icing on the cake, right? And don't do two covers at the same time because it may start drying up before you're going to press anything in it. So that will be kind of disappointing, right? So don't go too far, just play with the first part of the composition. And now we can take these little guys and press them in, and it's going to be so messy, right? You press it in, and then you lift it, and then you create impression of that in the paste or in the gesso. So sorry, your fingers will be dirty. You can also try to take off the excess with the palette knife. It's an option. I'm going to repeat that a couple of times to get this leaf and flower visible. Again, if it's going too much, you can pick it up. See, I'm just doing like embossing using the pieces of chipboard. And it's supposed to be freestyle and fun. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can use different pieces to create different effects. This one keeps moving, so I will take it off. I will try to impress these parts here. You can use tweezers. No, it won't ruin the chipboard. You can do it, of course, limited amount of time. Like you can't do it forever, but for us, it's going to be enough to create interesting textures. I will do one more here in the corner because I think this is missing a little bit, and I will show you the result. Maybe like this. Yay! It's like playing. You have to play when you do mixed media. It's supposed to be fun. Look. All these textures will be visible later. If you have tweezers, you can use tweezers. I don't really have, I have tweezers, but so I'm too lazy. And then try to imagine where your chipboard is going to go on your front cover. And you can even use the chipboard to see where this is going to go. And in the empty spaces, so mostly in the corners, you can repeat the same technique, adding some extra textures and to play with your icing and your embossing. And perfection is overrated. Nobody is going to appreciate the crispy, beautiful image because it's going to be part of the grungy texture. So go for it. So first we spread like icing. We have good time with it. Make friends with the texture. And then we press whatever we can find into it. I really like to press the smaller flowers because they give really visible, nice images. Does the first part need to be too? No, it doesn't have to be dry. I didn't dry it. I will dry it later together. I think this was the question. Pressing that. How you remove the soft gloss of your finger? Well, you don't. No, I'm kidding. You finally will. It's just very good glue. So you have to wait, and I usually wash my hands in the end of the process when I'm gluing. I really make them wet and I start rubbing off. I mean, my soft gel is wet. If we have modeling paste, we can use it instead of gesso. Yes, but I have to save it because I don't have too much for gluing, so I save it for gluing. Gesso does the same job. Modeling paste does the same job. You will have the same look. Use whatever you have on hand, okay? But remember, the better results are with thicker mediums. So thick, heavy gesso, it's perfect. Modeling paste is perfect, but very runny, very liquid gel medium may not work, right? Soft gel is not going to hold the peak. It has to be something thicker. So now we play with pressing and pulling and adding the nice imaginary to the background. Yeah, you can use modeling paste. It's going to be the same. Just remember, careful, it's quite sticky. So you have to pick up your keyboard quite quickly, okay? Okay, it looks very good, I think. Pretty, pretty. I made a lot of textures and they're floral textures. So they're going to match the keyboard I'm going to use. Now I get rid of the leftovers of the gesso. I leave it there, the gel. You may lose your fingertip rubbing. Yeah, exactly. It will go away. No worries. Just leave it for now because in fact, it's protection from the paint as well. So leave it. I will try to pick it up so you can see the whole composition a little bit better. And really, in mixed media, use what you have on hand. If you have small portion of the paste or gel medium, use the gesso. If you don't have gesso, you're kind of limited with that, use the paste. It's just that texture has to be, quite thick. We have a lot of black gesso, so we can completely and without any problem use it. And once you are done with it, you can start drying, but in fact, it's easier to stick the chipboard right away. So you can dry it together with the paste. Look. So I will take a little bit of the modeling paste. I will take those little chipboards, which are now completely black, and I will stick them to the cover in the final place I want them to go. And don't worry about the colors, because we are going to repaint everything. So now it looks awful, but it's fine. No problem. I used it as much as I wanted. Now I can stick it. It all depends on the chipboard as well. We have thick, good quality chipboards, so they're going to hold that technique, no problem. But if you have very delicate, very thin chipboards, they may not be strong and thick enough to survive this kind of treatment. I have several chipboards, flower, heart, wings, and splatters. I would pick something that is going to give good visible impression, right? So you have to pick the one that is going to be really visible. I don't know how they look like, but I would pick the one that seems to be quite solid. So I'm not sure about splatters. I would look at the heart or the wings. They will have some nice details on them, I guess. So ugly now. This one goes like this. Remember, the embellishments are going to sit on this chipboard, so pick the one that is going to give you some chances to work around with heart. Is always nice option, but you have to make sure parts of that will be visible. No, we use modeling paste. Wait, we use black gesso for impressions, right? Anything thick that we have. So black gesso is thick enough. And then we are using modeling paste once you are done to stick this leftover chipboard, well used and dirty, into the final position. And now you can clean your fingers with the baby wipe. I will show you how I stuck it. I just need to clean my fingers. It's very dirty part. If you do it with modeling paste, you just see more of the white. If you do it with black gesso, you see more of the black. But in general, there's a lot of textures that are going to be, visible later after we add the colors. So it's the messy, ugly part of the process, but you have to think that you are creating textures for the future. Almost there. Two mediums I was using now are here. So, quick recap. First step, we take the chipboard out of the packaging. We decide which one is going to go on the front, which one is going on the back, or if you have one big composition on the canvas, which one is going to be the main part of the composition and which one is going to be the counterbalance. Then we take black gesso or other thick paste that you have on hand, and we spread it in the parts of the composition which seem to be flat or empty. We spread it like icing on the cake, not too thick, diet version. Then we press the chipboards in the paste or gesso to create the shapes, the textures. And once you are going to do it wherever you want it, then you can stick the chipboard using modeling paste on the project in the final position. So where it is supposed to go. So I'm showing you now. It's very shiny because the gesso is wet, but you can see my big chipboard is here, right? And I added some extra here because I had 2 small flowers. And then I used 2 smaller flowers on the back. And now it looks like a hot mess, and it's going to be ugly for the next half an hour, and you have to accept it. So I just try to show you different angles, and the impression you're getting with the chipboard are kind of like a freestyle, beautiful, grungy textures. This is not the same work as you would do with the stencils. The stencil is much more clean and organized, while this kind of impression is very freestyle, very freehand, and I would say much more organic. I can't believe we were discussing such things as words for female parts in the live stream. Okay, that is recorded, unfortunately.
It's not a female part in America.
It is in the rest of the world. English speaking rest of the world.
We're just ignorant Americans.
No, you are just.
We live in our little Buddhist bubble.
I think it is beautiful that on some point with some things, some countries just turn into different direction and they stick to that no matter what. They just we made that decision that is this, and we don't change our mind. It's okay. You have to stick to your decisions. That's kind of respectful, for your ancestors. If they said so, this has to be true, right?
Well, hello, we're still using inches here, so
don't even mention.
Yeah, I know.
It kind of makes you feel better, just to tell you, it also happens here in Ireland, and it's still happening like really big ways in UK. Inches are kind of natural, especially for people from the older generations. I think they were not really given anything in metric. Elena, there was a question.
Okay,
I did not get 2 sets of the flowers. No, we have 1 set of the flowers. Since they are so big and yes, you can cut them to have them bigger if you want to make them more visible, and then leave the empty center. You don't have to worry.
Gigi, there's only 1 flower.
Exactly.
Oriana, you do not want to know what the C word is. Well,
no,
no,
the C word is very bad word.
Very
and of
bad.
course, we are not going to use it in public, but it's a swear word. And
it's awful.
Yeah, it's awful. I don't have Uganda, the front and the back covered. I have just small flower here on the back. It's literally 1 small chipboard and 1 tiny chipboard, and then 1 big at the front. See, I didn't cover this. There's a lot of empty space. You just don't see it because it's white shining through the black, and it's confusing. I will show you on the final one, okay? It's easier to see. Look, this is on the back. I think it's easier now. No worries. I know it. I look at it myself and I can't really, no. No worries. We are here for you. And Oriana, I will explain that to you later in a private conversation. But this is a very bad word.
We'll have a three-way chat, Oriana, and we'll explain it to you. First of all, if anyone is feeling like they are not caught up, Anna's going to show you, she's got the book up close now so you can see you're not using the chipboard on both sides. Well, you are, but in pieces.
In pieces, exactly. A little bit on the back. Yeah. And you can use the big element, like the main flowery, rosy, flourishy element on the front, at the front, here.
Does that
so
help?
It is here.
Gigi, does that make sense? Does that make sense, Gigi? Anna, I also want to say, you really had to put on a lot of the gesso or medium to get an impression in there. Like it was
like icing on the cake, right? Yeah. And as far as I know about cakes, they need a bit of this icing to be okay. The bumps on the back, these ones, these are the impressions of the chipboard, and they look really crazy after painting.
Now everybody wants cake.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should not mention that word. It's a C word as well, but it's bad in a different way. We are not mentioning that because people get hungry.
Even when you are drawing with your heat gun, it will make texture.
That's exactly.
Yeah. MJ, switch your
cake
chat
is a good word.
MJ, switch your chat to panelists and attendees.
Yes, because I don't see your comments.
Terry, you need to change yours also. Anyone who is writing to just the panelists, not everyone can see you. And Terry's now talking about chocolate. You guys.
Chocolate.
Yes, cake is a good word. So should they be using their heat gun now, Anna?
Once you stick your chipboard on it, once you make all of the impressions, then we dry it to make sure our paste or our gesso is going to get dry. So we are not going to get completely messy once we start adding to it, okay? So now you can start drying process, and then we will go on the front and the back to build the composition. Give it like a good 3 minutes of drying, especially gesso will seem to take, just a moment to dry, but because it's so thick, it may be dry on the top, but still wet in the bottom layer. Yes, chocolate is another good C word, I know. I'm trying to be good. I'm not eating anything in the last days. I'm dieting, I have to. So cake is far, far, far away distance from me.
Are you trying to lose weight?
Yeah, I have to. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, well, it's not bad, but it is not easy. That's why I have to. It's not like I do it with pleasure.
I know, it's not fun.
No, not at all.
Oh my God, Carrie Ann, C word will be a thing now. And also, Shelly, I haven't talked about pushing the pee-pee down yet today. So Devin, when he sits on the potty, he says, push the pee-pee down, because I told him to push the pee-pee down. And now we talk about We joke about how, that's what you have to tell boys when they pee. Push the pee-pee down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is what you remember.
Yeah, I know. But it's fun. This is, you know what? If we were in person, we'd be having the same conversations.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. You can always, whatever I'm saying and it seems to be confusing or not, or simply just you can't get it, put it on the side that I am not native English speaker. So I may have no clue what I'm saying, okay? Just in case, give me the credit. Like most of the times I know, but I had to learn a lot of interesting expressions. Sometimes I have friends all over the world, and there are different versions of English.
Yes, there is.
And I absolutely love it. Like every time I go somewhere, I learn new expressions. Like I have some favorites.
Elena, the ladies are saying you traumatized Mark.
Well, with the pushing the pee-pee down, I guess.
Pee-pee down. It's important.
Yeah, well, I guess.
Well, and he's a little baby, so he's sitting on the potty and he goes,
Yeah.
pee-pee, stuff goes everywhere. I'm like, push the pee-pee down. Anyway.
Yeah.
Potty training.
I get it. I completely understand. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Things we have to do.
Yep.
To
do you tell your little doggy, Anna, push the pee-pee down?
No, I just say, can you please let me know next time when you have to go out?
Yes, I say that to him too.
No, today we had 2 accidents because he was playing and he just forgot that he has to go out, and then it's a quick emergency, like I'm playing and I'm running, like, oh my God, no, I have to stop now and it's not enough time, and yes, that's it. So yeah,
that is exactly like potty training Devin. He forgets because he's playing, so
yeah. In a way, it is similar. Like I remember the time when I worked in how do you call it in United States? A nursery. I think that's called nursery in American English. So the place where the kids go when they are 3 years old, 4-year-olds for part of the day.
Nursery school.
Nursery school. Okay, so nursery school. And 3-year-olds are kind of still having that problem sometimes. And when you play, you have to make sure you take breaks, for example, like, every 20 minutes and check, like, do you need to go to toilet maybe? And half of the group is running towards the toilet. And then, next 20 minutes, they're, singing, playing, and so on, half an hour. Maybe you need to go to the toilet. Yeah. It is kind of interesting, but it does really help. So,
yeah. But then the minute you remind them that they have to pee, it's like, then there's no time left. They got to go right now. And like Sabrina just said, that doesn't stop at toddler age, Elena. Little boys would rather poop themselves than stop playing.
I kind of get it, but some people probably, like, we are crafting, like, let's face it, how many times you were holding that just to make sure you finished what you were doing, right?
Absolutely.
This is the same story.
Which is really bad for you. Lori said she understands. She was a single mama too. I'm telling you. And then Anna, your little doggy is just like having a toddler.
I'm sure. Okay, look, guys, what happened when I started drawing gesso? It starts to look better. Like, you see the textures in a little bit better way. Like, they are soft and they have these, like, interesting looking natural impressions. It's not going to be the same as stenciling. It's good to keep that in mind for the future, that you can use your tools, for example, keyboards, for making impressions instead of using traditional stenciling technique. You can even use your stencils the same way, pressing them in and lifting them. The image is going to be completely different. So you know, just plain going stenciling is getting boring on some point, right? It is just, you repeat the same thing over and over. So it's good to do other things. Impressions can be done with stamps as well, especially chunky, the bolder designs, especially rubber stamps are good for that. So this kind of impressions, they're always giving you different look, and it's worth trying. I'm sorry, but I think having twin dogs is harder than twin girls.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, confessions started.
Yeah. Regina said, my son is almost 24 and I miss the days you are experiencing. Mom, come wipe my butt. I'd find him in the bathroom, bent over, touching his toes, arse in the air. Oh my God, Regina. I know the days are coming.
Wow.
No.
Well, things you will never forget in your life.
That's right. Forever and ever.
So now, once you feel it is almost dry, we're looking at the embellishments, and I'm going to use whatever is left from yesterday. So first of all, I have the leftovers of the pebbles, and this is what I have left from metal embellishments, plus the large pebble. So I'm going to just show you what I've got, because maybe some of you weren't here yesterday, so you would like to see what is the plan, right? What I'm planning to use. You can see here on the side of the book, right? And then I will try to take the pebbles on some kind of tray so I can see them all. No, this is too small. And pebbles. Nicholas did the same, they're embarrassed about the story. Well,
That's funny, Randy. I'm sure our parents have plenty of potty training stories about us too.
oh, I'm sure. Okay, so for this step, we're going to use the leftovers of the modeling paste we have from yesterday. This is very sticky medium. It's going to be very good for gluing. So we are going to arrange our elements in a pretty way around the main chipboard to create the feeling it is like a plant, because this is a plant, but with the mechanical elements in it, okay? And then we're going to finish that up with the pebbles, because they're going to add perfect finishing touches. I used one pebble on the back as well. I think it looks good, but I prefer to keep the backs of the books mostly flat, because it's hard to work in a book that is wobbly on both sides. So if I open this here and feels a little bit insecure, it's okay, because this part is sitting nicely. But if both of them are kind of moving, it's not so easy to work in it if it's a journal. So I try to keep at least one flat, which is usually the back. Okay. So squeeze your paste on the palette or whatever you're using. Let's say I'm going to use this piece of cardboard, very fancy. And I will wait for you, so I will make sure that you are ready with that step. So get your embellishments out. And I will give you some advice on what you can do, how you can start this cluster of embellishments. It is still okay if it's just not totally dry. We will be drying that anyway with the elements on it. but on some point when we will start painting with gesso, it has to be dry, okay? So for now, it's okay. But don't put your hand in it by accident, because this is what I usually do. If I have some very wet area and then I'm focusing and then I stick my hand in that, and it's not always what is good for the composition. So try to not stick to it.
So I didn't really understand Shell's question. She had still new to trying to figure out the best time to use different colored gesso and how to prep a ceramic surface.
I think ceramic surface is probably some kind of tile or a vase, or a flower pot. And ceramic may be glazed or unglazed, depending what you have. But anyway, you would have to start with the coat of gesso, and probably on the ceramic, you will need at least 2 good coats completely dry before you're going to do anything. Because unglazed ceramic is going to absorb. That's how it works. So it needs proper sealing, and the gesso, the first layer may get absorbed a little bit, so the second coat would do the job properly. And the glazed is going to be very, very slippery, almost like glass. So it's good to have really good prep. So 2 coats of gesso first. Color of the gesso depends on what you're planning to do. So you have to just think gesso is a primer, and it comes in 3 colors because it's just easier sometimes to work on the project when you have transparent surface, so you don't ruin the beautiful object you want to repaint just a little bit and you want to see the natural color. White works better when you want to go pastel or bright colors, but not exactly metallic. When black works really well when you want to go dramatic and dark, or you want to start for metallic surface. That would be the best guidance I can give you. Yeah, color of gesso depends on the paint you are using, exactly. It's just giving you starting points. Like black gesso is giving you the shadow, right? It's like natural shadow right away. So if you're going to rub metallic on it, which is reflecting the light, it's going to create a lot of drama right away. Drama in a good way. I'm not saying like drama, yeah. So now look, clusters. Some people struggle with clusters, and it's because, again, they try to overthink, okay? Try to imagine the cluster is in fact one big embellishment. Instead of breaking that in your head into separate bits, try to imagine you're building one big object, okay? And the easiest way to start a cluster is to find the biggest things that you have and arrange them first. So in our kit, the biggest elements are the flowers, the cogs, and this big pebble. So that is a good start, right? We know we have to arrange them a lot. I really wanted to put the pebble on the top of the big cog that is giving me this composition, which is really, really cool and dimensional. So in a first moment, we need to arrange these 3 somehow, so they're going to create like one big object. For example, like this. Does it make sense? And don't try to arrange other things. Just start with these 3 and glue them down so they're staying in place, and you will be able to use it as a starting point for expanding and making your composition bigger. Once it is glued, then you have to keep it, and you are not changing your mind all the time. And now I remind you the secret technique of the blob, which means we put a lot on the other side, almost like mounting the tiles on the wall, and we press it down. And if it comes out live, it's okay. And we put them close to each other, as close as we can. And then if you feel completely annoyed by the fact that it's here, you can pick it up. But remember, it's going to be hidden under some paint as well, so it's not going to be that bad. Okay, we have starting point. Arrange the biggest elements in one group. Now we're going to look at the other ones, what we have left. I'm looking at the metals now and at the pebbles. This is what I have left. Pebbles. Okay, so having these, it means I have to start with the bigger ones and then go to the smaller ones. So I can start adding to this composition to extend it, to lift it to the top a little bit and go down a little bit, slide something under the flower, and you can layer one on the top of another as well. Especially pebbles, they can sit on the edge of the cog or on the edge of the keyboard. Okay, so let's try. This can go here. There's a lot of empty space. We can slide it in that spot. So again, I'm putting a big blob. I put it here. Look how nice it's going to fit. And then for good measure, because I put it here, we can put this one up here. So it's going to extend the composition to the top. I'm pulling that up and I stick it. Ta-da! This one has a big flat space. We can find a pebble that is going to sit here nicely, or we can find a cog that's going to sit here nicely, like this one. Perfect match. I'm trying to, looks nice. Try to pick up the excess a little bit. Then we can add something here. Maybe a big pebble would be a nice solution. It's close to the main group, so I can use bigger elements. And it is kind of natural. The big dimensional things are closer to the middle, and the further you go, the more flat and more delicate elements you're going to include. And another one next to it. I would like to pull it a little bit down, so maybe I will put a big pebble here. That feels nice. And the smaller, more flat metal embellishment. I still have 2 metal elements left. Perfect. What I try to do, I try not to repeat the same object very close to the same one, right? So if I put one element somewhere, I try to find another spot that is not going to be too close. So I'm not repeating the same thing next to each other too much. I'm running out of the metal elements, so you can have a look at these. And now I will start filling the empty gaps using leftover pebbles. Some of them will be attached to the composition, and some of the other ones are going to be just randomly floating near the flower composition. I'm just holding that up so you can see what I've done so far. So let's see what kind of pebbles I've got left. I keep the big one for the last step. And I will try to use the smaller ones to make like happy soap bubbles in some places. And they like to be next to each other, but they like to have smaller brothers or sisters instead of being all the same. So if I put a pebble and I want to give it company, I will always pick different sizes. So they're going to be like 3 together, but there will be a big sister and 2 smaller brothers, for example, if that makes sense for you. Well, they like to have friends, I noticed. They really look good when they have a little bit of company, but not the twin. So one annoying part I want to get rid of. Yeah, and that should be enough. I still have like 4 of the pebbles left, but I don't feel I have to use them. I will just clean my finger and I will show it closer again to the screen. I just need to make sure I'm not touching the pages of the book with the modeling paste, because it will stick. Okay. So check that out. I will show you all the pebbles now. One is here with the little brother, and then there are 3 sisters, right? Then there's a big one and tiny one, really the baby pebble. And then there are groups here, 1 and 2, 2 here, and 1 on the top, right? So they are attached, but kind of floating to the sides, like the composition gets extra air in a way. So they are giving a little bit of the lighter tone to the whole project. So here, here, I added here too, here, 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 and here. Yes, if you run out of the modeling paste, you can use 3D gloss gel. I still have some left, I would send you, but I think it will be too long before you will get it. Okay, I will put it here for a moment.
It's kind of a blessing and a curse to be home with all your stuff doing this, because that means you can go and pull out more crap to play with. And it also means that you have more choices.
And you come with new ideas as well.
Yep. Stick to the kit.
It's easier. The kit in a way makes your life easier because you have to do what you have in front of you, no other choices, right?
Yes.
So look, at this point, I have these 4 pebbles left. I can use them for the back, but I want the back to be flat, to be honest. So I just put them back in my stash into container for leftovers, which is called pebbles. They are going to be used in the future. And now I will dry everything completely with the heat gun. The same way as we did yesterday, before any painting, everything has to stay in place without moving, okay? This is important. So now you do your gluing, use your embellishments, use the modeling paste, and then we dry it. If you have any questions, I can read the questions now, so don't worry. I'm here. I will just try to clean it up a little bit. And then we dry completely. Did you paint the book before you started? Yes, we painted that with black gesso. My book was green. Then we added the paper scraps, and then we added black gesso or paste, and we pressed in the chipboards to create impressions, embossing. And then we stuck the chipboard using modeling paste, and then we stuck the embellishments using modeling paste. I will just take a little break. I will check. They still need a little bit of drying. This one is not glued yet. It has too much of the empty space around it. So it's not holding. I will have to glue it again. But I'll try to keep it in this position so you can check my composition as well.
Hello, kitty.
Yeah, she's completely relaxed. The puppy is not here, so she can sleep without any disturbing.
Oh,
Yeah, she's going to check how I'm doing.
oh, that's so sweet. Checking up on mama.
My cute little girl. Yeah, she's super, super sweet cat. So saying hello and going back to sleep.
Grace us with your presence for just a moment.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so try to put whatever you have. I could cover 50 books with what I have in my stash. Yeah, I will show you the bubbles again. Look, I'm going to show you with my brush. Here, 1, 2. Here, 1, 2, 3. Here, 1, 2. Here, 1, 1, 1, 1. And here, 1. So they kind of create like a line, like a wave. Yeah. So I will now make sure everything will stay in place. Dry that completely. Black gesso on the flower. There are some black gessos on the flower. Soon everything will be black anyway, so you don't have to worry about any of the colors. Just try to focus on the shape of it. Forget about the colors. Yeah, on some point you have to stop because you don't really want to cover everything. You want to see your textures, you want to see your paper scraps a little bit, you want to see the impressions you made with the chipboards. So, you know, save some empty spaces. I give it a chance to cool down. We still have one big pebble to put on the top, but I will do it later because we need to add something to it. And this is almost like the last step of the work. So I still keep it on the side. This big pebble is going to go. It's going to go on the top. So I keep it in a safe place. Jane is asking, Judy is asking, is it normal for modeling paste to make the popping sound while we dry it? Yes, it means you're frying it alive and it's dying. So it's begging you for mercy. Try to dry it from further away distance because it means it's completely hot. So it's not going to be damaged, but it is not really drying. It's boiling. It's frying. Okay. It's the best is to go like from, further away, like from that distance. So
you're not
try to move.
Choking on the fumes.
It's probably not going to be that bad, but it's just too hot, right? So it's not drying, it's frying.
You don't want fried gesso. It's not good.
No. Okay, so I will get ready for the next step. I don't really need modeling paste anymore. I have some left over here, but in case if something happens, I will keep it. I don't think so, but and now I come back to my palette and black gesso. Because now in the next stage, when you are ready, we repaint everything black with a thin coat. This is very covering art medium, so you don't have to put tons of it. It's better to have a little bit on the brush and just go everywhere instead of putting big chunky blobs of gesso, and then it's hard to move it around. So it's better to do it in smaller steps. I will take a medium-sized brush, for example, like this. Yeah. And then some people told me yesterday I paint really quickly. Very possible. It's just I cover everything that we have with the coat of gesso. And of course, in some parts, it's already black, so I don't have to spend too much time in there. But I was very careless with the soft gel, so the glue is visible. I will make sure there will be no glue, shiny glue on the cover. I don't want that. I just cover with gesso, and I start on one side of the cover, and I make sure now no natural color of the book is going to show, no paper, chipboard, everything is going to get nice coat. And if you have hard times painting in the deeper parts of the composition, you can just dab instead, painting over, right? So this is easier. Dabbing is the solution. So now from really ugly, we're turning into something slightly better, just dramatically black. Okay. And this is the moment when years ago I started teaching classes with black gesso and people were fainting almost, because concept of painting everything black seemed to be too much. It looks very dark, and they were feeling like, oh no, it's going to be ruined. Like, do you like my final look? Yes. So this is how you get it. It's just one stage of the work, and it's good to know that you go through many ugly stages to get to the pretty ones. And in a way, keeping your project pretty at all times, it's just making yourself much more trouble than you need and making your life harder. And it's good to know that there are some shortcuts. It's just much easier to paint black to later add the color on the top and get natural shadow instead of painting white and then adding shadow and then adding the color and more shadow. It's just much easier this way. So you just have to overcome some of your fears when you do mixed media and just see that, in fact, some of the stages of the work, they will be ugly and disappointing. But in the final result, everything was going to be beautiful. So now for me, the stage we were before, like when everything is dirty and different colors, this is the ugly stage. And now it's getting better because the colors are disappearing and I can paint my own colors on the top. Yeah, it's good to have options. Yeah. Oh, this one is moving. I have to stick it. I didn't put the paste under this one. And you don't want chipboard to move. It's going to be ruined. My brush just died. I have to glue it together. And again, remember, we're going to put colors on the top. So if you're going to miss one white spot, it's not going to be a problem. Nobody will see it. You just try to go wherever you can with the brush and then dab in all these deeper parts. You can put it upside down because this way you will discover some of the spots you probably can't see from the first angle. Yeah, trusting the process is very important. It's also a good thing when you take classes, right? If you take a class, I'm not saying with me because I may be the extreme example, but you look at the project that the teacher is showing to you, right? And you really love the results. And then during the class, you start to feel like, I'm not sure if it's right. I would do it differently, but the teacher is telling you, no, do it this way. Maybe it's your opportunity to learn something new. You know, you may trust your guts and try to go with your natural way, but you are missing the opportunity to learn new ways of doing things, or maybe there's like a twist you would not think about. So it's great to take the chance to try different techniques, different solutions, different products, because your way could be great, but maybe the other way is even greater, or maybe more entertaining, or it's just good to have the knowledge what you can do in case if your technique is not possible to do because you're missing something. So I encourage you to trust the teachers, because in ideal world, teachers would really know what they are saying, right? It's not always the thing. It does not always happen. But when you take the class from somebody who's got a good name as a teacher, you would expect they know. And they did this project before, so they know what to do. And you can ask questions, and there are no silly questions really, because your experience may be completely different to somebody else's experience. And what is obvious for one person is new for the other. So you should not be shy to ask. Like, I have no clue. Like, I have no idea about some kinds of arts techniques because I never tried it in my life, and I would just not be able to answer questions. But if somebody would be in front of me and I would be interested, I would ask. Like, I have no idea about crocheting or making beading or beads art. I have no idea about what else, cross stitching. No. Some of my elements are in drying and sticking. Well, first thing you can do is check if you have enough of the glue. So put the big blob. This is happening quite often because the elements are in fact sitting over the surface instead of being glued down. So big blob and pressing down. Second thing is sometimes it's just so wet everywhere. It's just not willing to stick because it's too wet. So then you can dry the surface, dry that place which is full of paste and doesn't want to stick. And then on this drier surface, then you try to stick again. Okay, this is one of the things that may happen sometimes.
Shell says, how long have you been doing mixed media?
Oh, I made my first mixed media project in 2010. 2009, 2010. I started doing paper crafts and kind of scrapbooking in 2008. And before that, maybe 2-3 years before that, I was decorating boxes, doing some decoupage. So I started mixed media kind of, it was not even called mixed media at that time, in 2010, because for me, scrapbooking was too limiting with the things that you can do, and I was not fully satisfied just matching the papers and embellishments. I wanted to try things. I really liked more dimensional, grungy look. And at the beginning, I was using alcohol inks, and I was using mists of different kinds, spray mists, and I was trying to find a way to attach things to each other, but it was hard. And then by accident, I discovered modeling paste, and after that, gel medium. And I started teaching classes in mixed media in 2011. And I started teaching as a full-time job in 2012. So now it is almost 10 years, 9 years this year, I'm a full-time teacher. That's a long time. I never thought I would be doing that as my job.
And yet here you are, and we're so happy you're here.
Yeah, just happened. It just happened. Sometimes things happen, and you need somebody to push you in the right direction. And then if you are not afraid and you're willing to take the risk and try, then you can discover yourself in completely different place. And this is what happened with me. I left my full-time job and I started teaching classes full-time in 2012. And in 2013, we moved from Poland to Ireland. And it was more or less the same time I started product designing for Prima, 2013, 2014. That was that time. Yeah. What do I use the altered books for? Art journals. Yes, most of them are art journals later. However, some of them I like so much, I don't want to cut, because I will have to remove some of the pages to turn it into art journal. So I have some decorated books that have just beautiful covers, and the text inside is intact. Like I have a book of fairy tales and legends that I altered the cover only, and it's on my shelf. And I have 2 or 3 other books which I absolutely love as they are, and they are not journals. They are just interesting objects on my shelf. But most of the times, either I remove the cover and I build the inside from the scratch, and I make like a junk book out of it, or I remove the part of the pages and I keep part of the pages and I turn it into a journal. What was my full-time job? By profession, I'm an adult educator. I'm not sure that's a job in other countries, but this is kind of I have a master's degree in education. That would be the best description of my work. And then I picked this kind of path in the last years of my education, where I was focusing on working with adults instead of kids. So I worked in a community center, and we were doing various activities for people. So there were a section that we were working with kids, and they were having like preschool activities, like, preparing kids for school. There were art classes. There were some, trips to museums, to theaters. And then for adults, we had exhibitions, concerts, different kind of activities, including English classes that I was included in as well, and trips, and so on and so on. And there was also elderly club. So that was a group for seniors meeting every Thursday, and they had activities for them as well, games and concerts and like movie projections, different kind of things together. So for many years, I worked in that community center. And when you work there, you have to be a bit of everything. So you have to be the teacher, you have to be the tour guide, you have to be person serving tea and coffee, you have to be person putting pictures on the walls, you have to be the kids teacher and art class helper and computer master, website manager. So a bit of different things together. And that was my job for a long time. At the end of the class, can we see your art and wall and craft studio? Yes. And if you would like to have a very good look, I also will post a link in to the video when I do a tour through my studio as well. I have that done. So how are you doing with your gluing and painting? Is it ready for like final drying with the heat gun? Well, I'm good at teaching because I have a lot of practice, I think. Yay, good. I was doing that for many years with kids and with adults and with teenagers. And I enjoy working with people. And now I use the knowledge I've got to teach this kind of classes, which is my passion as well. So that's why I really enjoy it. Perfect. So now I want to tell you something, and this is going to be information you can use in the future for other projects as well. We are on the stage when we can go many different ways because we built everything. We created textures, we created the composition, and we can use different kind of mediums to paint it. One of the simple things, it would be now taking out different colors of the waxes and just waxing that, and it's going to be very shiny and beautiful, right? The other option would be taking metallic paints and painting metallic right away on the black without any preparation because they are shiny, so they're going to give a lot of light to it. But we are planning to use acrylic paints, which are transparent. I told you yesterday that liquid acrylics, they require to have a bit of the lighter surface to be visible. So if I would take one of my paints now, we have Prussian blue, burnt sienna, and carmine. And if I would take this and I paint right away on the black, I will show you what happens. So you will see that I was not lying. I take a little bit of carmine and I put it here. Yeah, it's visible, but it's kind of disappointing dark browny shade instead of what it is in real life. It's not really showing the full color of the paint. So what we can do instead, when we want to use these paints, we have to prepare the surface first, adding a little bit of the lighter tone. And you will have a chance also to see, if you've never done it before, how the dry brushing works and just how easy to screw it to highlights using acrylic paint or gesso on the darker surface. This is very important technique in dimensional projects because sometimes you just lack the light and you would like to do something. You would like to add it, but you don't know how to do it. So it's very simple technique, but very rewarding. And this is the moment we are going to use a little bit of the white gesso we have from yesterday. No mini beads in this class, no, but we don't repeat the same things in both classes. That would be kind of boring. You know how to put the beads. Now we do it without the beads. Look, you take the white gesso now, okay? I have this part a little bit dirty, but it's not going to be a problem. And you take flat brush, hopefully soft, nothing really too hard, right? Flat, soft brush. And the whole trick is to put just a little bit of that gesso or white acrylic paint on your brush So it's almost like powdering your nose. Look, I'm brushing my hand and you can see the lines of my palm, right? That means this is almost dry. And we take that and now we touch the tops of embellishments. And we go like with the powder on our makeup, you know, we're powdering our nose, we touch the tops, we don't go too far. We don't want to change the color completely. We want to give it like a cloud of soft color, round motion of your wrist. It's great exercise. So you will have, you know, your muscles working, your joints are getting proper exercise. You know, small portion and round motion, touching the tops and round motion, almost like, you know, mixing and stirring. You can see the delicate cloud I'm creating this way, right? Or basically dry brush.
And that is white gesso or white
Yeah,
paint?
that's exactly the white gesso. You can do it with acrylic paint if you don't have gesso, but we do. I'm just saying that it's an option. Again, pick up a little bit, remove the excess. You can start with touching the tops, so you don't have too much on your brush. Just, you know, with the side of the brush, like, you know, yeah. And then you can create the little cloud again. Brushing in different directions, trying to make it soft, like a powder in the air. And then, of course, you can go a little bit on your background as well. So it is not like in the coloring book, embellishments are white and the background is black. No? We want to take a bit of that color to the background as well, so it looks natural. How easy is that? It starts to look nice already. You can see the dark natural shadow and the top is turning white gray. And the details that we were gluing are starting to be visible. The trick is, and if you struggle with that, of course, you will have to remember for the next time, almost nothing on your brush and patience. Instead of going heavy, you go light. I will show you the closer look. See? And now I will let it to dry a little bit. I will do the same on the back, on the chipboard flowers. We want to do similar look. This way, a bit of gesso goes a very long way. So remember that you don't need to take a lot. And this is the way where you can see your textures showing up, right? Whatever you were pressing into the gesso or paste, now they're going to be visible and the magic is going to happen. It's like revealing the patterns we created. You can see the pastes, sorry, the tape. You can see the paper. Still drying the black? No worries. Just relax. We are going nowhere. We are here waiting for you. And you're drying your black, and I'm just one step ahead to show you how to apply the white. It's not like, you know, in the classroom in real life, it's the same. There are people who need more time for certain steps because something happened, or they're just slower at painting. And we have to be like in between. I have to be one step ahead. So some people will not be waiting forever, and I will be able to show the next steps. And some people take a little bit longer. And then in the other steps, it's changing because, you know, some people are faster at gluing, but slower at painting. We are all different and no problem. I will just stay here and brush. Yeah, it's like snow, just snowed, exactly. Light snow. How's your situation in the US with the snow and freezing weather? Is it getting better?
I don't know. I'm in
No.
California.
I know you are surprised when you see the rain.
Oh, we don't know what to do in the rain.
Hide. This is what people do.
Well, actually, we get out our galoshes and go jump in it, but it is really messed up in some parts of America, and it's really sad. So many people without power and water, and you think it's over by now, but still going on.
Yeah, winter is not the most pleasant time of the year.
Yeah.
It may be really, really cold.
Yeah. Randy said it's getting better, but we're supposed to have snow tomorrow again. And Tracy said it's much better for Missouri. And Denise said it's terrible for those in Texas. In Wisconsin, we are used to it. Yeah.
That was my next question. I think it was just part of the problem was it was happening to the people that usually don't get that extreme weather. So they are not prepared, and the facilities are not prepared, and they just don't know what to do.
So true.
Like, I always tell the story about a situation with the snow in Europe, how it looks like when, for example, the snowfall generally in different countries. And there was one winter when I was coming back from CHA, and I spoke to my husband, who was at that time in Warsaw. So it had to be 2013 or 12, I'm not sure. And he said, well, listen, it's snowing, and you have to check which airport you are having the landing, like mid-landing, because there are major delays. Like, what do you mean? Like, well, in France, in Paris, there is like 20 centimeters of snow, and they have kind of major delays, and they are, like 1-2 hours behind. Then in UK, they have 15 centimeters of snow, and Heathrow is not working. And then in Warsaw, we have 45 centimeters, and we have like 30 minutes delay. It's still okay. And Germany, kind of the same thing. They are 30, 40 centimeters, but they're operative. And in Moscow, they have 65 centimeters, no delays at all. So depending on the country, in Russia, they get the snow, they just put more people there, and it's removed because they have facilities and they are prepared and they expect it's going to happen. In France or in UK, they are not really expecting snow at all. So they don't even have the machines to remove it. So it's a disaster. So I was lucky. I was having the landing in Switzerland, and Switzerland is all about snow in the winter. So there was no problem at all. But this is the reality. I remember that was the year when Nat Kalbach, she was going back as well, and she wanted to get from Frankfurt to Hamburg, and there were no ways to get a flight because the planes were freezing. So she had to take a train, and the trains were completely packed, and it was like a disaster. Yeah, we have that as well. So don't feel so bad. We also have struggles. And then when in Ireland we have snow, I noticed people are in a kind of, I would say, state similar to panic when it happens. They don't really know what to do. And this is not because they can't really manage. It's just, again, lack of the facilities. They don't use the winter tires in this country. So it's very hard to drive for them. And they don't have the experience of driving in the heavy snow, for example. And in a way, this is kind of, putting all together. And also in Poland, we don't have pipes like the gutters, not the gutters, the pipes that are collecting the water from the kitchen or bathroom on the outside of the building, because they would freeze in every winter. And here, there are not heavy frosts, so they're outside. So when the freezing weather comes, they may just burst and freeze. So that is a disaster as well. So I can imagine, this is completely different level of problems.
Yes.
How do you make the gesso go to the tiny spaces? I use bright pink paper and it's showing I want to kill it. Well, Oriana, dabbing. You take the brush, right? And you go. And then if it's still not happening because the brush is too big, once you dab the best you can, then you take a small brush and then go in those stubborn places. You know, you have to sometimes do it. It's, you know, if it's a lot of elements and then the top ones are really transparent, there will be some annoying things. Yeah, shows who gets the snow the most in Europe. Carol, exactly. Snow in the UK is a new thing. It was not really happening that much in the past. And I guess in Ireland is the same. Oh, yeah, the houses aren't prepared. Exactly. With the same problem in the countries when the weather is mild, like UK and Ireland, they get Atlantic weather, which is mild, and it never gets very hot or very cold. So there's no isolation to the point that we would isolate in the countries where there's extreme hot heat or extreme cold. So it's just like they get you off guard by surprise, and this is not fun. Okay, so and at this stage we are going to move from white to color, right? The dry brushing can go as long as you like. Some people want to do it forever because it's so relaxing. And it's good, but honestly, we want to play with color, right? We want to do the color. So at this point, I would take the colors I want to use on my project and I will squeeze it on the palette. And today I'm going to use 3 colors. So I'm going to use burnt sienna, carmine, and I will use a little bit of Prussian blue as well. So this is burnt sienna. Then this is carmine, so I just squeezed it out moments ago, and Prussian blue. Okay, I put it on the palette. And now we're going to repeat similar thing we did yesterday. So you should be more confident today with that. We're going to use sprayer in the first stage of the painting, okay? We're going to do similar way. We apply the color and we spray, and then we dry, and then we'll look at the finishing touches. So I guess, again, it's easier with the smaller brush. I just put this one in the water after gesso, so it's not going to get completely dry. Are you ready for that step? Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead, Anna. People can catch up, and there's the recording too.
Okay, we are really okay with time. We have time until 8, right?
We are at, you have about an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh my God, we will have a party.
Good.
I told you today is a shorter project. It's easier. And also you have experience from yesterday, so it's easier for you.
Right.
Yeah, so now, like we have like this 3 steps to go, not much. So really, now the same thing. Try to think about groups of color. We are not painting one color over another. We are going to make them neighbors. So the blue will be next to the brown instead, one on the top of another. So we can make a break after I do the colors, okay? It's going to be very quick. So because I already started and my paint will dry. So I'm going to put a bit of blue. And if you don't know how to do it, think in triangles. 1, 2, 3. That makes sense?
Yes, that's a great explanation, Anna.
Triangle. 1, 2, 3. And some water, so it's going to flow nicely. Then you take another color. Let's say this is going to be brown because it's less intense. And we will put it next to the blue. 1, 2, 3. In a happy way. You don't have to say it the way I do, but you know, you can sing. You just, whatever feels right. And water. No, we finish at 8:30, I think. No worries.
At 12:30 Pacific time. Anna's
So
in
it's-
another country.
I'm in the British time, so we finish at 8. You have to listen to Elena. I think we have time like
We have about an hour.
8:30 of British time. Okay. 8:30 of British time. Yeah. So we have like blue and brown, like waves of blue, wave of brown. Right? And now we can introduce a little bit of the rustic tone. So a little bit of that orange, which is very intense. So you can take a little bit, okay? So you're not getting stressed or scared, just touches. Ignore me, I have the wrong times. No worries. No worries, we have time. And then water again. And after that, you can dry, and then that is going to turn permanent, and we can add extra. So let's dry it.
I have to say, Zoom noise canceling technology is pretty fascinating.
Yeah. Am I the only one using the heat gun? Like nobody was doing that before?
I did turn it on. No, no one has. Well, I guess Cece used one yesterday. I don't think she used a heat gun. She used a fan.
Okay.
I don't know why, but you're just, yeah, I guess yours is the only one.
Yeah, but it's a lot of drying in my classes, right? So kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's still more quiet than a hairdryer, to be honest.
Really? It's really quiet. I turned mine on early. I don't know if anyone heard it.
No.
Yeah. So it's
Debbie,
amazing.
I love you so much.
What'd she say? So who's got their stupid head on? You're so funny.
Okay. So this is like permanent part. So now you can get a little bit braver. So this is not going to go away. You can add more colors. Maybe you want to see more color on the background. Maybe you'd like to soften the blue a little bit. Maybe you'd like to play. So once it is in, you can continue adding some other colors, overlapping now a little bit, right? See what happens. Try to expand your color to the background as well. There will be no damage to the black because black is black, but so you only see it on the parts where you brushed your gesso. And that gesso is going to be the colorful part of your project now. So I'm adding more of the brown, a little bit more of the orange. Remember, this is not the final look as well. We're going to soften it with white wax. So you don't have to worry that this is so intense. It's intense because the paint is fresh without any cover on the top. So, remember about the water. Water is your friend, helping the paints flow nicely. You can overlap the other colors now a little bit to see what happens. Who is having the second class after me today? Just wondering.
Chelsea.
Who?
Chelsea Evans.
Yes. Sorry, I couldn't understand.
Chelsea. Yeah. We are doing leather purses, painting them.
Yeah, leather purses. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yep, so now I'm adding more water and I can do the same thing on my other side. Is there not step on paper somewhere? No. Unfortunately, you will have to watch the video again. Yeah, please go over the steps one more time. Please apply the paint. Okay, so to repeat everything, the first stage was starting with black gesso to prep the background. Then we added the strips of paper and tape, then using soft gel. Then we were adding the texture, pressing the chipboard into the gesso or modeling paste. Then we dried it and we glued all the embellishments on the top. Dried it, and then we put black gesso over everything. So it was solid black. We dried it, and then we went with white gesso to create cloud of color. You can see here on this side to prepare the surface for painting so the colors will be bright and visible. And now painting. The easiest way to paint. No worries. To paint again, if you are trying to do it without blending too much, it's easier when you take one color and make like a triangle. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Then use the water to make it flow a little bit. Then you pick the second color. I usually suggest to start with less intense now first. So maybe blue and brown. And you put 1, 2, 3 of the second color, for example, brown. Finally, you pick up the third one and you add some touches. You add some water, everything is flowing nicely. Then you dry and it's turning permanent. So when you have it permanent, you will be able to decide if you need to add more. Maybe there are some spaces that you missed, or maybe there are some parts that you would like to highlight a little bit more. You like to add something. It's up to you, right? This is the moment when you can make some adjustments to it. And this is the moment where I am now. So I'm adding adjustments. I'm adding extra touches in some places because maybe this was too blue and too boring, and that was too brown. So I'm trying to make it a little bit more interesting. Once I did it, I can also do the other side of the cover because, you know, it's going to have some color as well. I will mostly focus on the place where the embellishments are because they catch the attention. So I'm going to paint mostly the chipboard only, not too much. Maybe a little bit more of the background with the blue or brown to make it look nice and neutral. I'm starting on the other side. A bit of blue on the chipboard and a little bit on the background and water. It really makes the point to paint only where the white gesso is because it's not going to be visible in any other places. I think I put too much. So now what you can do, you can take paper towel or the kitchen roll and you pick it up. See, no damage. I have more space for my brown. Does it make sense?
Yes, that was perfect. That was a perfect recap, Anna.
My pleasure.
So anyone that would like to watch this class again, we try to have it up within 24 hours. We do our best. And then all you have to do is sign into your account, which is how you are watching right now. You have your username and your login. And then you just will see Anna's class right there when you log in, and you will be able to see the replay. But give us 24 to 48 hours, please, because we do have to wait for Zoom and then download it, upload it to YouTube, and then attach it.
Yeah, this is not automatically attached. They have to manually download it and upload it. So it is going to take some time, but it's really quick.
Yes, and we do have to do a teeny bit of editing because of the way Zoom saves videos. So give us a few, but we will get it as soon as possible.
The white cloud effect, it was dry brushing with gesso. I will show you again in a moment. You take white gesso on the brush this one. I suggest flat brushes, soft ones like this. I have to dry it now because this is a little bit too wet. I took it out of the water. Right. So it is almost dry. Now you pick up the gesso or white acrylic paint, but we have gesso. Then you remove the excess. Look, I'm trying to get rid of the excess of the paint. So it's when I use it on my palm, it's just like powdering, right? And then you start brushing using the side of the brush, and then you make circle modes when it's just adding the tiny cut white cloud to it. I'm not really sure what can I repaint for you. Wait, maybe I have something. I have this, right? So it's textured, so it's not going to be the same, but you start with a delicate way. And then different directions, right? Round motion. Going to the outside, from inside to the outside, round motion. We go very far with just a bit on the brush without adding extra, right? And then until when it's really nothing on your brush left, then you repeat. You pick up, you clean off the excess, and then you start brushing again, right? And this is how we made the cloud of white. We painted the embellishments and then a little bit of the background as well. This kind of movement, flat, and then a little bit of a circle with your wrist. So it is really soft. Make sense? No problem. Okay, so I will dry my back and we will take maybe a 5-10 minutes break before we will go on the 2 last steps. Sorry, I keep forgetting you like to have breaks because I usually don't take breaks in the classes, and this is my fault. I'm sorry. I should remember that.
Not everyone has done breaks, Anna. You're fine. People just kind of go into the bathroom when they need, but if it's a good time, go ahead and pause.
Yeah, I just leave it here so you can see it. There's a question. What kind of tape did you use, and did you glue paper or tape it? No, I used the soft gel for gluing. I didn't use the tape for gluing. I used masking tape from the DIY store, the one you use for masking when you do the painting of your walls. And I had some fabric tape as well. This is from pharmacy. I used these. But the papers, I used soft gloss gel to stick down, and I put it under the paper and I seal it over with the soft gel as well. Okay. This is part of your kit, the soft gloss gel. If you have a kit, then you have it in it. If you don't have a kit, find any clear, soft kind of gel, medium or transparent glue, and you use it. Thank you for the link. Okay, so I'm here, so if you want to ask any questions, but officially now we have a short break.
Just a quick one for anyone that needs it. So I think most people were in your class yesterday, Anna, but do you want to, you were going to talk about Patreon again, right?
I can, yes. I will try to find the link though. So this time I can put it in. Give me a second. I will put it in as my husband, so don't freak out.
Well, I didn't know, Anna, but yeah.
I'm trying to find it. I usually post about that, and I always put a link on the bottom, but people, I know how it is. They just see the top of the post and never read to the bottom of it anyway. Yeah. Because we look at the pictures, and I don't blame them. This is what I do myself. I think there's, okay, copy.
How long have you been married?
Wait.
Okay, trick question.
15 years last year. So 15 years. This year it's going to be 16 years. Yeah. But we were dating for 7 years before.
Okay, so you guys have been together a long time.
Yeah, you can get used to that. Yeah, I guess. Well, but it kind of makes sense. I was 18 when we started dating, so it was quite a while because I had to go to university, and that is like 18. I was like 25 when I got married. So, you know, we just never had a motivation to get married earlier because he was doing his kind of technical university and he wanted to have a job and everything. And I was doing my university, and we both could live with our parents because we lived in the capital. So it was easy to get to the school without, any kind of boarding or anything. So it was logical to wait until we are done with education. Yeah. It's easier. It's just easier this way. And there's one thing on the top of that, which probably you don't have in the US that much. In Poland, we still have big chunk of the education, including college and university education, for free if you are passing the exams and you get into the spots which are available. So you don't have to pay unless you are not able to get to the free classes. So it is like a little bit different, I guess, in the US because the courses are paid ones. We have both, right? So when you are a student and you live locally, you don't have a lot of expenses if you get into the free courses. So that's kind of easier.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, so that is one of the things, like one of the good things of being a post-communist country. We have that.
One of the perks.
Yeah, well, it is, the system works like that.
Yeah.
What is a wedding there? I'm not sure.
What do you do for a wedding? What's a traditional Polish wedding?
Traditional Polish wedding, a wedding date. Wedding date was 15th of August. And it was on Sunday, which is not usual. No, sorry, 14th of August. And
my God, and
I'm hopeless. But it was Sunday, and this is not usual because usually the weddings are happening on Saturdays because then you have a party and you can sleep on Sunday, right? Makes sense.
Same here. Same.
Yeah, but when you want to book a wedding venue and you are in the capital, it is not easy. You have to book way in advance. So we started 1 year in advance, and it was apparently too late. So we went to the place we wanted to rent, and the lady said, "Look, on 15th it is the bank holiday, So maybe you want to go on the 14th on Sunday, we will give you a small discount. Like, duh, why not, right? And then Monday is still a free day, so there will be no problems with the people coming. So perfect. So we got married on Sunday. But the Polish wedding is elaborate, I would say. This is a big proper party, which means Poland generally is a Catholic country. So most of the weddings, if they are happening in any church, it's going to be Catholic church. And that usually is like 1 hour long celebration. Like the mass takes about 1 hour, maybe hour and a half. And everything happens in the church. And then out of the church, the guests will go to the venue that you rented. Usually there is transport organized, so they don't have to take cars for an obvious reason. And then you take the way around, so you give them the time to get there, because the plan is when the married couple is coming, they have to come last, so everybody can welcome them in the place, right?
Right.
So we take the scenic route and they go quickly. And then there is a lot of traditions in the very beginning. There's 2 mothers are greeting the married children. And then, there's a lot of stuff. Like there's tradition to greet the couple with the bread and salt, which is kind of, I think, only Polish tradition. Bread, so you don't have any hunger, and the salt that you always have the spice. So salt is like very valuable thing in Poland. So the salt is the symbol of the wealth as well. And then you get 2 glasses filled with water and vodka, and you don't know which one is which one. And you have to grab one of them and drink. And of course, the one that grabs vodka is supposed to be the leader in the marriage. Now they don't want trouble, so they put water in both just in case. And then you're supposed to break the glasses, and then you're supposed to get and have the first dance and the toast with champagne. And then you get the first dinner, and then there's dancing and games and dinners and cold plates, and that goes from around 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. And that is it. The big event happens around midnight, when there is the time when traditionally the bride is removing the veil, the hair decoration. Usually we use veils, so the kind of long ones, and then throwing that in the air for the girls to catch, and whoever catches the one is going to be the future bride. And then the groom is throwing the tie, or the how do you call this bow that you have that looks like
the bow tie.
Bow tie, yeah, the bow tie in the air. And then of course the next person who is going to catch is going to be the future groom. And then there are some games, like, when people are already drunk a little bit, they dance and sing a lot, and so on and so on. We get like 4 hot dishes served, and I mean like full dinners served during that time. We get a lot of cake, wedding cake.
Again.
Yeah, and then in the end, we have a lot of leftovers. So there's after party on the next day, when we have to eat up everything. And usually it starts at 2 p.m. on the next day, and we have like smaller group of people because some people go home, but we do after party. And this is more casual clothing, and still a little bit tired after the first night. But this is kind of how it goes.
Wow, party animals in Poland.
And this is the short version. Because that was the long version. I remember I attended once when I was a teenager, and it happened in the village. People celebrate for a week, and it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. It's not happening anymore. Now it's going towards this traditional one night and the after party. But in the past, proper wedding was a week. But you have to have a reason to party. Like, it is celebration. You never know when it's going to be the next one, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Adding the X, sounds like Russian New Year's Eve I attended. Yeah, kind of, we have similar traditions. I noticed like a lot of people, when I talk about a Polish wedding, they get like, how do you survive all that? Like, yeah, you just get very tired. Like the concept of the first night, like, you know, it is not existent. Like when you get home, you're just crashing on the bed and you want to sleep. There's nothing funny happening there. It's just like you are drunk, you are tired, your feet hurt. You want to remove that freaking white dress off you because it's so uncomfortable. And your husband is basically snoring halfway before you get to the house. So sorry, not very romantic, but you have plenty of time later if you want to, right? So
Did you put your Patreon link up? Someone's looking for it.
Picture.
Scroll up, the Patreon link is there.
Yes. So we were talking about Patreon, exactly. I will talk about that now. You asked me about the wedding and I got distracted.
I know. Well, okay, so just let you know, it's 11:46. How many more steps do we have? You have 45.
1.5.
Okay, we have 45 minutes. Do you want to show another step real quick and then we can talk more about
Sounds like we're okay. Adding the inks again. I don't really know where to put them now. So I will just pretend I add them, okay? Because I don't have the chance to add them again. So I would start with the, let's say, blue color first, right? And then I go blue in one place, second and third, and water, right? This is going to make like nice blue puddles. Then I will take brown, for example, and go 1, 2, 3, and a little bit of water. So they blend a little bit. And I add a little bit of orange red, and it's going to add this rusty touches. Then I will dry it. After drying, I will see if there are some spaces I would like to check or add more, or just, you know, maybe I missed some spots. And I will add the second layer of the paint in selected places. Sorry. And then I will add a little bit of water again so they can mix. And that is going to be basically it, right? So it's very, very simple. So now we are getting ready for 1.5 step. First of all, we're going to do the highlights. And for that, we are going to use white pearl wax, which you have in your kit. If you don't have white pearl wax in your kit, pearl, metallic, try to get the next similar thing you have. Light color. So this is the pearl wax we used yesterday as well. And I'm going to take it on my palm instead of the palette because I'm going to mostly apply it with my finger. We want to get those lovely highlights. And that means I can just rub a little bit with my finger. And if I can't reach the spot, then I will take a brush. It now is going to transform really quickly. So I will answer the question from Brandy in a moment. I will just do the application now. Waxes are permanent and they are water resistant after drying. That's why we use them as a last step. And then we rub. It's a little bit like using the gesso for whitewashing, but now we don't really go that far. We just try to touch the tops. Look how nice it is. And you don't need a lot of wax because it goes really long way. And I start with embellishments and I try to touch the tops. I try to touch the chipboard so it's getting more and more visible. Of course, don't forget the chipboard on the back. It wants to be rubbed as well. Yeah. Rubbing, touching. The petals of the flower. Everything starts to look a little bit softer. Even this crazy orange is not going to be so crazy anymore. I will show you that closer. Just have to touch it in a delicate way. So this is not going to go away. Look, very quick transformation. And I just use my finger. It's perfect tool because it can't go too deep. So you're not removing the color completely. You're just adding the highlights. And now you can go a little bit bolder, and you can use the side of your finger and do the little bit of the highlights on the texture as well. So you do that like you're rubbing the cover, the flat parts, and reveal the pattern that you created. Look. It's so easy. Just don't go too far. Try to do it in small portions so you can stop before you will have everything white, because this is also important. Like you don't want to go like crazy everywhere. And then if there are some parts you can't touch with your finger because maybe it is too close to the main composition, you can always try to take a brush and use just a tiny bit, but I'm doing really good job with the finger, look. I have to stop, I have too much wax on my hand. Yeah, magic. So in the meantime, when I hold it closer to you so you can see it, I will talk about Patreon. So yesterday there was a question about how to take more of the live classes with me. And this is very easy, to be honest, because I started kind of subscription that you can take the same way as you do with Netflix. So you pay monthly and it's like automatic payment you can set up on your card or PayPal. And this is giving you the access to the events, discounts, exclusive projects and videos I make every month for patrons only, which means at the level of 10 euro per month minimum, you get at least 2 videos per month, and it's always something very informative. It is either a project step-by-step like we are doing now, or it is a class about basics of mixed media or something similar. Then there are other tiers, for example, 25 euro per month, and you get also giveaways on that stage. Then there are 50 when you get one very private video with a small group of people only, live stream. And there are different levels. There's also basic level of 5 euro, which you get some discounts and access to the secret things, but you don't get access to the regular videos. It is, I think, very, very good investment, and it's worth it, because once you get into subscription, you get the access to everything, including the months back, which means if you sign up now, you see the content from January, December, November, all the way back to April last year. And you can take a lot of classes this way. Of course, all the live streams are recorded, so you can come back to them. And if you want to take part in the live session, I always start advertising like 2-3 days before, and I send the link so you can join live if we do the live show on that, usually Saturday. And there are some other things happening, for example, like exclusive sneak peeks of the new collection before anybody else. And yeah, sometimes I give homework. And it is for those of you who would like to just experience more of mixed media in your life, and a very welcoming environment with friendly people. A lot of my patrons, you can see them here in this class as well. And you just go to the link I posted, and I forgot, I will just post again. Paste, this is this one. And you can pick the tier which is right for you, and you can cancel anytime as well. So what some people are doing, they start, and then, for example, they have to take a break. So they lower the tier to basic one for 1 or 2 months, and they come back to the higher one, or they stop because they're moving houses, or they can't take the content and they come back. So this is not really, if you sign up, you have to pay for the whole year, for example. No, it's monthly, and it is just happening just the same way as a lot of automatic payments. And of course, on the top of that, if you are not sure if it's for you, just try it for 1 month. And then you can say, no, I don't like it, or I don't have time for it, or I'm not ready. And after 1 month, you just decide not to go, but you will see a lot of different videos, and you will have a chance to make friends with wonderful people. And I just kind of, you give me this way a chance to work from home, so I can create classes, I can create projects, I can create new releases, and I can do more of the free videos for everybody, because, this bit by bit, everybody is putting a tip in my pocket, and this way I'm able to do the job I should be doing live. I can do it from home, and I can reorganize my life this way so I can serve you better. So people who would never have a chance to take my class because they are not able to travel, or I'm never around, or they don't have the opportunity to go into the classroom, there are different situations, they're able to attend. So it's really something that I would recommend to all the people who would like to get involved into mixed media a little bit more, or they just want to have some new friends, and they would be, similar-minded people, so who are interested in art, and they would like to learn together and encourage each other. So that's how it works. So my dears, I will hold it closer again, and we're going to the last step, very quick. You ready? So if you want to support me as an artist, yes, please, I'm ready. Just come, everybody. I will be very happy to have you as my patrons and supporters. No, you don't have to buff it. You just let it dry naturally, and it's going to be very shiny.
Anna, yeah, go ahead and finish up. That way we'll have about.
I just take something that I can put in there because I can't find the thing that I was usually using.
That way we'll have time to see everybody's projects.
Yeah, exactly. That's my plan.
Perfect.
Okay, I guess I have to take this one instead. So now we are going to do the last thing. We're going to put the pebble, so you can find a kind of printed paper. You would like to use something interesting there. Here I used the butterfly that was on graphic 45 paper, very old paper, but I can't find this paper anymore. It disappeared together with the butterflies. So I found something else. And this is the moment when we are going to use our pebble, the last pebble that I also lost. Oh, here it is. And soft gel. Look, this is the moment, right? We're going to put it into use. I found a nice piece of paper that is going to look very cool, like mechanical elements, really, really nice, with this nice gold background. So first you need to do is to put transparent glue or soft gel, which is completely transparent, on the top of the pebble. No, not so much. And this is going to dry transparent, but you have to, of course, press it down nicely. So what I sometimes do, I take like a piece of a sponge, and then I find a spot I would like to press it in, and then I try to make sure there will be no air bubbles. At the first moment, you will feel that, it seems to be a little bit milky white, but if you will press it properly and give it a good massage and dry it, it's going to go away. Yeah, so I'm basically sticking the pebble on the paper as much as I can using soft gel, right? Then I dry it with the heat gun. You can also dry from the bottom, so it dries quickly and well. Then you take your scissors, you take your pebble, and you cut it out. This is a very technical thing. You have to really focus. Look at me cutting. So important. Make sure you don't have any marks of the glue on the pebble, because I always get that. Oh, soft gel is so sticky. Pebbles work a little bit like magnifying glasses. So look how nice it is. I'll try to clean it with the baby wipe, because there's my gluey fingerprint on it. Pretty. Soft gloss gel, not modeling paste. No, 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 no. Modeling paste is white. Don't use the paste. Soft gel only. Okay. And now you can stick it with modeling paste on the top of your project, right? So I will use the leftovers of the modeling paste, which is, the tube is here. And I will add final touches with splatters of the paint, and it's done. So now I will take a little bit of the carmine, and I will, because it's very white in some places, of course you should not really paint over the wax, but if it's just a little bit of touches, nothing bad is going to happen. So between me and you, you can try that. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of that rusty touch here and there, so it looks a bit more dramatic. You can even do that to the pebble if you want to. Right? Maybe a little bit here as well. Wax is going to resist, but if you concentrate the paint, it should do the job. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just adding tiny touch of the color here and there to break that silver white I created. And you can also splatter the paint. So if you water it down on the palette, you can do some delicate splatters just by hitting your brush. It's up to you. Some people love splatters, some people hate them. So remember, when you want to splatter the paint, you have to add some water to it, because it's never going to go off your brush. So, you know, you can do these little thingies. Yeah, and if you are wondering about Patreon, really, I teach the same way for everybody. So if I do a class, if I explain things, I talk in the same way. I really try to make people feel comfortable. So you should have no problems. If you enjoy the classes here, you should also enjoy the Patreon subscription. And I said, no pressure. And you have a lot of nice friends and to accompany you. And if you feel that you don't have too many mixed media people around you, maybe this is a way for you, because it's always nice to talk to somebody about what you like. So that is the look I created on mine. I can do the splatters on the back cover as well now, once I will dry it. You can add some wax to the spine as well, because if you feel it's too dark, you can add it. I think I should do that. So I just add a tiny bit of waxing on the spine, because there's beautiful text here, so I want to see it. I have no idea what it says, but it looks great. My big pleasure. I'm happy you enjoyed. And that's it. That's finished. Generally, waxing takes just a moment. It's very rewarding to see things coming together so quickly. So that's why I think people fall in love with waxers. And the more you use them, the more you learn about them and you feel more confident with them. But the trick is to use just a little bit, because it's very easy to overdo it. They are metallic or matte, but they are covering, and that means, oh, that was wax. On my baby wipe. So that is easy to just spread too much by accident, and once it is dry, it's permanent. So it would be a problem to get rid of it. And also, I think what is one advantage of me being not a native English speaker, well, two advantages, and this is between me and you, and this is what I think. In a way, I'm kind of not fun, because I am entertaining when I talk. Like, you don't really know what to expect, what I'm going to say, because my language is a bit limited, and I have the vocabulary that may be surprising for you. So you get a different experience, and you get exposed to foreign accents as well. So you can polish your understanding of broken English. And for those people who are not native speakers, my vocabulary will be similar to what they are used to, because we probably were using the same books to learn. So mine may be easier to understand to the native speakers, because they have, you know, just super fluent speech, and they talk fast sometimes, and they don't realize that they use complicated words. So if you are not native speaker and you can understand me, I think my job is done. My job is done. Yeah, that's it. I'm really done here, and I just give you the time to ask questions and, just see if there's anything else you would like to do. But
Anna, this has been so great. I think everyone will agree that you are a fantastic teacher. I can't believe
you are
that
saying that to everybody, I know, because you are so kind. But thank you.
all, I only tell that to the people that are really good. But
Well, good. True.
so I will just say that you throw so much technique, and this is why we had to put Anna into 2 classes, because there is no way to do her technique without a lot of mediums. And as you guys know, these mediums are not cheap. And in order to be able to offer the classes, even at the price that we did, which some people thought it was expensive, and I totally understand, but what you got in your kit was, trust me, you guys got such a deal. I hope people know that, but I know that it's hard times. So, but hopefully you guys felt like it was worth it. Anna, that looks amazing. Amazing.
I'm so glad that you like it, and I hope that you enjoyed it, guys, because mixed media is supposed to be fun, and it's something that you should be encouraged to experiment with. This is not like one recipe is going to work for everything. No, it's like there's a lot of different ingredients you can mix, and the more you do it, the more confidence you get and the more ideas you also get, because you will see, okay, if I put it in this sequence, it works like that. And if I do it in the different sequence, it's going to work differently.
Yes.
There are only very few rules that you should not break, like don't paint over waxes and expect it's going to cover. No, you may do some drips or splatters, yeah, but never full coverage. And there are some things like you should not forget about gesso. Like this is one of the rules that you should really keep somewhere in mind when you do the mixed media project, because it does help and it really makes everything so much easier. But otherwise, you just play and experiment and do whatever you feel is going to be good for you. So
agreed. And Anna,
yeah.
Anna is an art venture staple. So anytime we do art venture and we are teaching mixed media, Anna will be here with us. Obviously, she has to tell us how to best use her products. And if you come up with something that Anna hasn't done, oh my God, I'm sure Anna would be like, please show me, because I think experimenting, like you said, Anna, is so key to really getting the most of the product.
Thank you, Valerie. I love your English translations. Thank you very much. I'm doing my best, and I'm glad it's entertaining. It's fun. Yeah, it's always great to be around people, because I always, get motivation to learn something new as well. And I just absolutely love watching people create, because this is great inspiration for me. So when I see your projects, when I see that you are excited, I get excited as well. I'm not saying I'm like energetical vampire, but kind of, it works this way. Your energy, your excitement, it just bounces back and comes back, into me. Like it's like I send you positive mixed media energy, you take it, transform it, and you send it back, right? And it's like a circle, like circulation of the good energy happening. And because you get excited, I have the feeling, yeah, it's worth it, I should try. And I get excited and I do more. So this is very helpful. And in a way, in the situation when I have to work from home, the online classes are the source of this energy exchange. And that is so valuable for me as well. Oh, I'm happy you like your project, Lori.
Anna, I'm going to go ahead and let some people come on camera. Is that okay? Okay, let's see.
I will just switch to...
First, I have Swimmin' Ink. And let me just...
Oh, I'm so pink. Excited.
No, you're adorable. Hold on. Swimmin' Ink. All right. Go ahead and turn your camera on. Ooh, looks so good.
Show me your projects. Show me your projects.
Women Inc., you're up. Go ahead and turn your camera on and I will spotlight you.
My hair is so flat.
Are you talking bad about my friend Anna?
No, no. She's gorgeous.
My friend Anna.
Thank you so much for the lovely comments.
Okay, I cannot get her on, so I'm going to go ahead and bring Angela Crone in. And you can keep trying Women Inc. and find your camera. But Angela, go ahead and turn your camera on.
Thank you, Uganda.
Okay.
Thank you, Judy.
Hi, Angela.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. All right. So I still have a lot to do because I have a new book and it had like the title down the binding. So I had some wood bend molding and I put that on there, but I'm going to have to clamp it on there and make sure it gets good and secure. So I still have a long way to go on my book.
But it's a great start, and you put a lot of cool elements there. I can see. Yeah, that looks very nice.
I wanted to show you, I finished my clock
yes,
from the last night. I wanted to show that too. I actually finished it while we were doing the class. I added my wax. This is
wow.
the inside.
That's so pretty.
And then,
yeah, that's proper rust. Come on, you were not shy. I love it. That is amazing.
Rusty.
Yeah, this is like, hello. We do the rust here. Absolutely lovely. That's, this is my big pleasure. I hope that was helpful and I was inspirational and you're going to do more. Thank you very much.
So many new techniques from you that with materials I've never used before. This has been so much fun. I love it. I'll do more.
Yay.
I'm so happy. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Next we have Terry Franklin. And if you were able to show your project yesterday, maybe you can go ahead and let someone else come in because we're only going to have about a half an hour to do this. But no problem. If you want to come in, we totally want to see you.
You don't need your makeup. You don't need your fancy clothes. You don't need your bra. You don't need your lipstick.
Bra. Don't need your bra. All right, Terry, let me see it. Let me see it.
Okay, hold on. Let me figure which way is up.
Wow, that's a journal book cover. Lovely.
I think I went a little overboard, so, but I still like it.
Come on. Come on. It's just more shiny.
Yeah.
And I know you like shiny. So hello. You don't have to stop yourself. It's your book.
No,
my job is to show you. Your job is to do it.
I have enjoyed making these journals so much. I think I've made about 4 now. And this is what I made for my sister. She hasn't got
it yet. Is that a giraffe? Yeah.
She loves giraffes. I have found that I have made like 4 for different people. And I usually ask them something like, what do you do? One lady likes to sew. And so my sister loves to knit. So I put a little knitting thing.
Perfect.
She loves to cook. So I put a spoon. And she collects giraffes. So
perfect gift.
So yeah, so that's the one I made for her. And
I'm sure she will love it.
Yeah, so I've really enjoyed just the process of these books and journals and just the whole idea of a composition like this.
I'm so happy.
Space. It's great.
Yay.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, Terry.
All right, thank you.
See you later. Okay, next we have.
Look at your pins. You have all the 3 pins on you. Ah, beautiful. The badges.
That's great. Okay, Carrie Ann.
Yeah.
You are in.
There.
Hello again. Oh, wow. That's pretty.
You. And I like Wonderland, so I put the cat in.
Perfect. Like, of course. Like, I couldn't find the butterfly, so I put some kind of steampunk stuff and it works. So cat. That's pretty composition. You went really nice up with this flowery garland on the front. That looks really nice.
And I was starting in the back, so I was like on the edge here instead of in the middle. But
who cares?
So yeah.
Come on, I always remember, you know, you have to remember you're the only one who knows what the plan was. Other people have no clue. So yeah, you want it this way. It looks very good. And honestly, this beautiful composition. So
again, once again, it's a really good class and I enjoyed the time.
I'm very happy. It was a challenge because I had to make the kit that is going to cover 2 classes in a kind of good way. And at the same time to make them different. So that's why we have, some things are the same, but other things are different, like the black gesso, white gesso. So I'm glad it worked so well. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the classes.
Nice to see you, Carrie Ann. Thank you. All right, I have Carolyn from the UK.
Yay, Carolyn.
Okay, Carolyn. You should be able to turn on your camera.
Hiya.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Anna. Yes. Really great classes with you.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you smiling. How are the projects doing?
Finished.
Yeah, well done.
So this is my book from today.
Look at the chipboard. I love the feather part on the bottom. That looks great. Wow.
The back.
Pretty. Yeah, and you put a vintage photo together with that. So in a way, my first feeling, it looks like secret diary, like somebody is, you know, writing notes in the special secret book. And it is a lovely feeling to it. Beautiful book.
Thank you. I'll show you my from yesterday.
Oh, well done, you. Beautiful Rust. How do you feel about the project?
Oh, I love doing this. I love Rust. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I found that you need more than you think you need on these colors.
Sometimes it just, the water takes away so much so quickly that you see, oh, it's turning so transparent. So you have to just dab a little bit more.
Yeah. But it's also, today's book is a great new way of using black gesso with having the white on the top as well. I've never done that before, so that was really good.
Yeah, because, you know, not always we want to use waxes all the way or metallic. We want to play with something else. And gesso is usually what we have on the table. Yeah. So that's kind of an easy combination that anybody can try. And I love dry brushing, to be honest, because it's revealing the details so nicely. Yeah, and you can go really anywhere from there.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that bit. Like you say, it's relaxing just doing that.
Yeah, once you find this mode, like, you know, you get into the zone, you're like, okay.
All right,
I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm so happy that you have the pleasure and that you learned something new as well.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay,
Bye.
I had let Chris in, but she went away. So I'm letting Judy in. And Judy, go ahead and turn on your camera. Hi, Judy.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good. This is mine. First time using a lot of these products, and it was a lot of fun. And I chose to do it on one of the decorative boxes.
Wow.
That way it can be set on a table or such and be used.
Great idea. They are really cool.
And I haven't put in my large bubble yet because I need to find some special graphic or picture that I want to put in.
You can do it anytime after because it's the last thing, but Yeah, that's a great idea. And these techniques are really permanent. So for boxes, when people touch them a lot, open and close, this is not going to come off. So that's perfect solution. And these books and boxes are really safe to touch. So once it is completely dry, no problem. It's great for home decor techniques as well.
My only question is, mine seemed to turn out a little darker, not as brilliant as yours did, the colors.
I think what happened, you have quite a lot of white, and that means you probably went quite far with the white pearl, and that's why some of the colors are now disappearing. You can try to dip the brush in the thick, like not diluted paint, and try to touch in some places with the orange or with the blue and bring it back. So maybe you can see on mine, in that part, you could just go back. It's not going to be perfect repainting, but it's going to bring this color a little bit closer to the top. Also, what you could happen, because it seems to be quite dark in the background, maybe your layer of white gesso was very thin and very delicate. And that's why it was a little bit too dark for the colors to really pop.
Okay, good.
So
tip.
next time
I'm gonna be making more. I'll be making more. We'll try more.
But it's beautiful as it
Wonderful
is.
class.
It's just a little bit different. So it is not like it is worse or better. It's just different feeling to it, but looks amazing. All the details, they shine and they look so nice.
Well, thank you. It was a wonderful class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Judy.
Bye.
Okay, next I have Barb. Whoops, who's next? Let's see.
Thank you so much to everybody who says goodbye. And I absolutely love the time with you. I'm reading the comments with one eye. So thank you. And I hope you're going to see me soon during the other classes as well.
Okay, let's see. Lori, you should be able to turn on your camera. Okay, Lori, you're up.
And hello.
Hi.
Hello.
You can't see below. No. But this is my book. I too started losing a lot of color, and I dedicated this book to my sister. She loved it very much.
Oh, great.
So
I love the wings on the top. It looks very nice with this composition. And the color is more vintagey brown. That mine's more blue, yours more browns.
Yes, my Persian blue was, I think it was frozen and it didn't work at all. So I have a lot
that
of
happens. If your paint looks like curd, that means it was frozen.
Yes, yeah, I think it was frozen. But anyway, so I have,
sorry.
That's okay. I have a lot of your paints. So
it happened to us in the past.
This is the turquoise.
Yeah, but you know, it works really well. It's just a different proportion of the color. It looks equally beautiful.
Right.
Whatever works. Some of the people were not even using the colors from the kit because they don't have a kit, so they went completely with their own ideas.
Yeah, I think I have a store in my room because I buy everything. I collect it all. No.
I'm not, well, I'm supposed to show you my room in the end quickly, so you will see. I feel a little bit better.
Yeah, well, you have a reason. I don't have a studio and I don't teach. I just, I have been into paper crafting and scrapbooking since, oh Lord, like 2000. And then my young sister, she passed away from cancer recently. That's why I dedicated.
I'm sorry.
Yes. But anyway, so she kind of got me into like the mixed media world, and I started going crazy. And back then, Prima and you didn't have your own product, so I was a Tim Holtz nut. And that's a lot.
We were older.
Yes. So basically, that's how I got into it. And now I'm trying to do pouring acrylics, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, just try and enjoy. This is the most important part of it.
And now I didn't like this yesterday, but now tried. I don't mind it. I think I just overdid it.
I think it's just a little bit more grungy than the one I made, and that's why you feel different about it. But it looks very nice. It looks like it's a very old object taken from basement or from underwater.
I think this was in like the bottom of a ship in the bottom of the ocean.
Very possible. But it's not like worse in a way. It is just having the grungier texture. So you just have to decide how you feel about it. It looks great to me, but
yeah, I like it.
I'm glad because it's beautiful.
Thank you. But it had to dry first. Yesterday I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. But you know, I was looking at how neat and the other ones were, and it wasn't so crowded. That's how I am. I just crowd everything.
No worries.
Canvas.
You know, it is kind of natural that with the techniques, when we pour a lot of water on it, sometimes it just like taking all the time in the world to dry. So no worries, you just have to let it be. And then finally, when it's dry, you can do it. Thank you so much for showing up, and thank you for joining the class.
It was a lot of fun. I'm sorry I caused so much trouble.
Not at all. Thank you, Lori. You're fun.
You're
fun. Thank you.
No, never mind. All right.
Fun.
Bye,
Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Tracy.
Next is Danny and Perrin, and Danny, are you there? You go. Okay. Go ahead and unmute, Perrin.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
All right. So. Oh,
yeah.
All right. So didn't have the wheel and the picture ready, so I used the leftover from last week. So I got that in place.
And that looks really cool. That is really beautiful detail, catching a lot of attention. From looking from here, I just looked directly at that right away.
And backside, I actually misunderstood with the ice cake or the icing. I went a little thick, but it ended up working out.
Yeah, it looks very good. You know, maybe you are just
working
not
on
into
hers.
Thank you.
But I do want to, didn't miss yesterday. This was ours from yesterday.
Wow. And the lady and gentleman photo inside. Very, very cool.
And of course, that was mine. A little bit of steampunk.
Yeah, looking awesome.
Yeah.
I love them both.
Thank you very much. Yes, very good class. We like it. We did one of these books, what was it, 4 years ago with Rika. So that was our first time. So it was nice to get back to it again.
Thank you very much for showing, and I absolutely love your projects. I just hope you had a great time and you are going to come back in the future.
Yes, indeed.
We'll be seeing you on Patreon.
Yep, I don't know if you heard her. We're gonna hook up on Patreon.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
Yes. Okay.
Thanks.
See you soon.
Bye, Perrin. Bye, bye, Danny.
Bye-bye.
Okay. All right. Next, we have our volunteers. They are over at the kidding area, and they didn't get to come on yesterday, but they have worked so hard. And I know that there were some glitches with the kits, but honestly, for the 2,000 kits we did, they did amazing, just amazing. So here you go.
It's a lot of work.
It is. Uh-oh, Sandra, where'd you go?
I got it. Rebecca.
There you are. There you are.
Hi, everybody.
Yay!
We've been having a lot of fun, Anna. Thank you so much. We enjoyed your class yesterday. It was really a lot of fun. So thank you. It's nice to be able to actually play with the stuff that we packed.
I think that's one of the best things, that you finally can do something with that, not just putting in the bags. Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Exactly. We can play hard. We can play hard together, not just work hard.
Yes.
Hard together, right?
Yes.
Oh,
All right.
thank you.
And Kelly, I did a black.
That is texture. I love it.
They have a hard connection there.
I can see.
Oh, is that Gloria's?
And then,
Is that Gloria's? Oh, look at
this
that.
is my Kelly.
Oh,
I think you guys are behind us. Yeah.
You have to take good photos as well because, oh, I want to see them all properly. That's beautiful blue. Wow. Pretty. And the panel inside. That's great.
So much fun.
Yeah. The butterfly looks really great inside.
And last one, we've got Terry. I'm getting some.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It only works to get your fingers in there. And this is Terry's beautiful box that she made too.
Wow, look at the scissors. That is really cool shape. You are so creative, ladies. I'm so happy for you. That looks amazing.
Thanks, you guys.
And it's cool that they can, be together and do it together. Like, oh my God, I wish I had some company sometimes.
I know,
thank you.
To talk to ourselves. Bye.
Bye.
I know that's the thing. They've already been together. They kind of have their own little bubble.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay, Judy, I'm bringing you in, but they've worked so hard. So thanks, you guys. You're awesome. And
thank you.
Let's see. Judy, you're up. All right, Judy Markowitz, you're in.
Okay, let's see. All right, there we go. Hi.
Hello, we don't see you yet.
There, she's right there. Hold on, let me just hang on 1 second. There you go, Judy.
Okay, so when I was at Prima with you a number of years ago and we did the black hog ones, I still had this panel. So I did my project on that.
Oh, perfect. And look at that texture and looks amazing.
And I just wanted to also show you this one from yesterday.
Oh, wow. That's proper rust. Well done. Big drip and really dramatic grunge. Beautiful project. How do you feel? Which one you like more?
Honestly, I love them both so much. And I had forgotten to get a picture yesterday. And I was kind of scrolling through some of my relatives' Facebook pages who had posted some of our older family pictures. So the picture that's in there, I don't know if you can see it, is actually my great grandmother with her 3 daughters. So the middle child is actually my grandmother, and the woman is my great grandma. So
that's amazing.
So I love them both so much. They came out so beautiful. I must thank you. This has been an awesome experience.
I did only a little bit part of it. It's all your hands and your talent putting those things together. Like, you are thanking me, but in fact, you are the artist creating that. I'm just helping. So thank you for doing that, and thank you joining, because it's, it's great experience to see you doing wonderful art. And I'm so happy that you are successful and encouraged and inspired.
Thank you. And I will definitely be doing more with you because this has been amazing. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's see. We've got about 5 minutes, and the next person is Kimberly Peters. Okay, Kimberly, go ahead and turn your camera on. There she is. Okay, Kimberly, we can see and hear you.
Woohoo! So I had my mom with me today. Yesterday was my sister.
Yay! Oh, how cool. That's a big tag you have.
Use one of the etc. tags.
Yeah.
So that worked out.
Perfect.
And then mom did one.
I don't know how to do that.
You get in the camera. Mom doesn't want to be in the camera.
Yeah, but it looks amazing. There's a lot of cool textures, like buttons. No, what it is. Yeah, I can see some button thingies and cogs and keyboards of different kinds. Very beautiful.
No buttons, just all those little bubbles. I didn't do the back.
The bubbles, yeah, I can't see exactly because it is, but looks beautiful. I can see there are a lot of highlights and the texture catches the light beautiful. Now I need to wait for the photo in the proper daylight so I can appreciate every detail. Well done, ladies. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for joining and sharing the art.
Thank you, Kimberly. Okay, so let's see. We have like 5 minutes. I'm going to bring Alessandra in. I just want to let you guys know I have created a post in Facebook where you can add the photos of your projects. So please post pictures of your projects there. Obviously, tag Anna in your post.
Yes.
We really love seeing what you've done. And there's nothing more special than, I think, designing product or a class and then seeing what people did with it.
Exactly. It's always a pleasure. And I can't see them in person, but I can admire the photos. And I will take photos of mine, of course, and I will post in my social media as well. So you can see, like the close-up photos, and I will put them in that group as well, so you can see the better detail, because
Perfect.
Sometimes on the camera you may not see everything.
Perfect. Thank you, Anna. Okay, Alessandra, let's see it.
So I'm still in a black gesso side, and I want to ask you.
Looks good.
Here, one of the paper that I was, can you see?
Is
coming off. So can I glue it again?
Exactly. Just glue it down and then dab the
gesso
gesso
again?
over. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It happened to my keyboard as well. I was trying to glue everything, and then there was just one on the very edge was coming off. So I had to stick it back, because especially here, it would be so easy to lift it by accident. Don't worry. It's hard to make a mistake here. Just stick it.
Yeah, that's what I like in mixed media. Every mistake you can fix it.
Exactly. You don't have to be very precise. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's very nice composition.
I think I went a little bit too much with the pebbles. I don't know, the light is so weird.
I don't think so. I don't see too much.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I have more than you, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have very similar amount of them. Yeah,
thank you.
That was great.
Thank you very much.
With lighting, it'll be great. When we see the picture.
Exactly. We wait for photo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. Go away, notification. Okay, I'm going to have time for one more. I have Oriana here. She's next on the list that I can see. Just because I'm so sorry, you guys, I would sit here and do this all day, but I have to eat something. Yesterday, I did not eat anything. Oh, Nancy, I did not eat. And I was like, what the heck was I thinking? All right, I'll do 2 more because I put 2 people in here. So Nancy, you're up. And then Oriana. And then I'm so sorry, you guys, I'm going to have to cut it off. Because I got it. Me and Hitomi have to eat. You got to do it. Okay.
Do you understand me?
Yes.
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 Wow.
This is my book.
Wow. Look at the flower.
Thank you. It's one of my stuff, but I don't remember where this come from.
It's beautiful.
For the people, I made a stamp with your butterfly. I had just a soft matte gel, and after that I paint with the carmine, and I glue it with the.
Looks amazing. And I have to tell you, your highlights and composition looks very, very balanced, organic, and beautiful. So well done.
Thank you
very much. You should be proud. It's beautiful composition, and the back, yeah.
I really like to make it, And I have to tell you, this weekend was not just like a Christmas, it was just like a Christmas in Candyland.
Oh,
I'm
thank
so
you very
happy
much.
to make this class with you this weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining. I'm so happy I could make you happy. This is like the best thing.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Nancy. Thank you.
People are so nice.
Oriana, you're going to be the last one. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, Oriana, you're in. Go ahead. There you go. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, everyone. Here's my,
hello.
This is my page. One thing I put, this is a tea bag, since you like so much the tea bags, and I thought it's a good idea. And I also add, art stone. I love art stones. So
yeah, it looks so shiny and beautiful. Well done.
Another thing I want to show you, for the Jen Cushman's class, we make jewelry and then make these earrings with your gear. I forgot to show you yesterday.
That's absolutely amazing.
And they're a little bit gothic, so I know you like them.
yeah, and I love earrings, so yeah.
So yeah, quick. So I'm the last one. So bye-bye.
Oriana,
thank you, my dear. We see you soon.
Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry I can't do any more because I just got to cut it off at one point. But I really, really hope you guys enjoyed the class. I know you did. Anna, so much fun. And the really cool part is we added encore. So I hope you will tell your friends. Please tell people in the group. I am going to do a contest just to give you guys a heads up. I am going to do a contest where you can do a post and tag us, and I'm going to give away a seat, a VIP seat to Art Venture Encore. So you'll be able to post, tag, share the link to Art Venture, but I'm not ready for you guys to do it yet because I'm still getting the event shopping cart created. So hang tight on those. I mean, you can still do it, but we're not starting to give away just yet, but we are going to do it. And the month of April, we get to do this with Anna again. Yay!
Yay!
Okay. I wasn't going to do anything today, but I did it.
Oh, I feel special. You took my class again.
It's
beautiful.
So it
and
says,
the tiny feet.
So I feel really good that I mean, I haven't created in so long. So I was like, you know what? I worked so hard to plan this event. I should be doing some art. So here I am. I did it.
Great. I'm so happy for you. And thank you so much for organizing everything. It works so smoothly. And I think everybody's having great time. So I know how much hard work it is. And you are doing a lot of clicking and a lot of organizing during these classes. Like I'm just doing the easy job. I'm just showing people how to create, and you have to do all the technical part.
No, but you know what? It's inspiring, Anna. And when we see the people's artwork, it's super inspiring, and hearing people how much they need this, it's exactly why we're doing it. So thank you guys for joining.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll see if you're in the next class. Next is Chelsea. We'll see you soon. Otherwise, thank you, Anna.
Bye.
Posts. Okay, bye, you guys. Thank you. Thank you.